stop for 90 minutes. Now it's time for your daily visit. Mickey Talks. Mickey Talks. He's with Matt Davis. Mickey Talks. So here's the latest. Mickey Talks. We're glad you made it. Mickey Talks. Mickey Talks.
Time of the day when Mickey talks. Welcome to Mickey Talks, episode
Number 68 today.
68, the infancy of the entire thing. We're going to look back on this one day and just laugh our asses off.
Season 2.
See, we're in season 2.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
68.
60, yeah, something like, yeah.
You do me and I owe you one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'll bring him in right now. I told him to be quiet for a minute.
I
He
said I was
couldn't
going
do
to
it.
work blue.
Yeah. So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. Since I've been, I don't know, 18, 19, I started working at Hammer Jacks. I met this guy who I thought had the coolest job on the planet. He was the reporter for the Sun, News American, who or was it the Sun, who covered
Sun by the time I met you.
Yeah, covered all the concerts, and it you know the movie. What's that movie?
Almost Famous.
Almost Famous, about the kid that goes out on the road.
Sure.
Nestor did it. Ladies and gentlemen, a guy who is beloved, who is hated, who is adored, who is ridiculed. When it comes to me, I love the guy. I think he's an original. I think he is authentic. I think he is true Baltimore. And I love the guy for it. And I don't give a shit what anyone says. One of my dear friends and an incredibly talented guy. You know him as Nasty Nestor. I know him as Nestor Aparicio. Hey, buddy.
Welcome, buddy.
There's no applause. Oh,
No, I don't have
to
applause.
give myself applause.
You should.
They're clapping at home, I promise
man,
you.
I've been trying for 50 years to leave this neighborhood, and it's like The Godfather. You bring me back.
Well, you're
we're
a
in the
Dundalk
space.
boy.
This was Kitty City.
I know. He walked in the building. He goes, dude, I'm in Kitty City.
I met Captain Chesapeake here.
Is
when
that right?
I was a boy. I asked him a question
At the poop plant here where we broadcast from?
Well, we'll get to that. Because are you from Matt? Do you have any East? Do you remember the original tomato can that sat in the parking lot where Provident Bank was, right across?
I don't think. No, I didn't grow up in this neighborhood.
If you Google East Point Mall in the 70s,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was a gray, white. It looked like a Purina dog food can.
Yeah.
That sat pretty much where the McDonald's currently kind of is.
Right on Eastern Avenue.
Yeah, and then they built a double nipple on the same property in the late 80s. And then the Golden Arches, came later.
Right.
And look, I'm over here. I eat at Costas at least once a week. I'm going to Pizza John's. My son lives in my childhood home, which is literally 2 blocks from here.
Yeah.
So I'm in this neighborhood all the time, which they're all my people.
We're
now,
glad it was convenient for you,
Are you
man.
going to set me up for ice over here? Because you do know my elementary school is 74% Hispanic.
Yeah.
Now
I was the only Hispanic kid. It's me and the Flores family from Colombia.
But Ness, now here's the problem. Your last name is Aparicio. Like if they even look at the list, you're fucking going, bro. You got to go. That's not a Smith or a Jones or and look,
if you guys take
trouble.
a Sharpie and put MS-13 on my knuckles, I like
pay no attention to that white van out front, man.
Yeah.
We're rolling film, right? Because when they come in,
we're rolling right now. Yeah. Don't worry.
See what the guys coming here with the masks on.
Yeah.
But I grew up over here, and UMFers invite me over the third 100-degree day.
I know. Well,
here summer.
I gotta tell you,
the shit's right.
You know what's funny, man? It's only this little section of the building that we're in. It's literally just this tiny section. How did I not die of
cancer already?
I know.
Just breathing the air over here.
Well, listen, man. So
it's good to be home.
I'm so glad to have you. I've been trying to get you on the show since the beginning, and
you canceled on me last month.
So, dude,
5-finger death punch. Who the hell are they?
So he calls me today.
Is it because I have 4.5 fingers?
Don't you have the belt buckle yet, man?
Is it because I have 4.5 fingers?
He literally said to me,
wow.
He goes, oh, I get it. This is what he sends me, a picture of his hand like that. And he goes, I get it. The guy with 5 fingers gets on. I only have 4.5.
I'm so stupid. I'm just now getting the connection. That's hilarious.
Mickey, you discriminate against me. You don't love me.
Nestor, listen.
You canceled my ass last month.
Listen,
man.
I
I had to invite myself.
You've had me on your show 2 or 3 times, and I have adored every moment. So, and you
Well,
get
I
it.
have air conditioning.
I know. I'm so sorry. It is so fucking hot.
I love
man.
it. I'm going to start doing yoga and
Yeah,
really
yeah.
piss you off.
So, Nestor, I want to, on my show, I want to tell a little bit of your story. So, what made you, how did you get a job at the newspaper? What were you, 16, 17?
I was 15.
15. How did that happen?
I was at East Point Mall across the street at Aladdin's Castle next to the old Chick-fil-A that's now the Applebee's. And it was I was a mall rat. I mean,
Yeah.
I grew up a
Sure,
block
I get
from
it.
here. I
Yeah,
grew up
we all
right behind
did.
St. Peter's Church right up the street, 2 blocks away. And my parents never drove, so the mall was all I had. The mall and the bus was in Highlandtown is kind of all we had.
What year are we talking here, Nestor?
Early 70s. I was born in
Yeah.
68, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably 77. You start hanging out and doing
Yeah,
shit.
the mall. The mall
Yeah.
was the mall, right?
Sure.
So I had a substitute teacher who was a father of one of my classmates, Melissa Bating. She's still alive and well. Love you, Missy. Her dad was a printer at the News American, and the printers wore the boat hats upstairs, and they had X-Acto knives, and they cut the copy that you would see as the columns in the newspaper onto then wax. It was like a wax machine that would wax the back, and it was called the composing room in newspapers. Now, they had hot metal type right before that. I saw hot metal type there. I touched it when, but it wasn't what was printing the paper anymore. But within a couple of years, I mean, that stopped maybe 80. I got there 84. But at Christmas time at the mall, I ran into Missy Bating and her dad, and she introduced me. Her dad was a substitute teacher at Holabird, and he always said, "I'll get you a job at the paper." And he kind of had the countenance of Alice's husband in Brady Bunch.
I know exactly.
So if you want to see who he is,
Right.
that's kind of
Yeah.
what he looked like
Yeah.
and kind of man he was. He was
Yeah.
a beautiful guy.
Was that Sam the Butcher?
Yeah.
Sam
Sam
the
the Butcher,
right.
man.
I don't forget shit.
Right. So and Marty Bating was his name.
Yeah.
Marty. Mr. Bating. And when we used to play paper football and substitute,
Sure.
right? So he was that guy, and he knew me, and he saw me at the mall. And he always said to me in school, when you grow up, I'll get you a job at the newspaper, because he knew I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be a sports writer. I wanted to be Oscar Madison. I wanted to be John Stedman is what I wanted to be. And I was a sports guy. I mean, I just knew a lot about sports as a kid, and I loved rock and roll. But I was at the mall, and he said, "I'm going to get you a job at the paper." And it was Christmas time. And 3 weeks later, he called my house, and he said, and I'm 15. This is January 1984. I just turned 15. And he said, "You're going to be getting a call from a guy named Tom Robinson. Call him Robbie. He's going to be offering you a job, an internship at the newspaper." And I'm 15. I could breathe, and I had a heartbeat, and I like sports.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was free help
Right.
for the
Yeah.
newspaper.
Yeah, of
I
course.
was going out of business.
I get it.
So my dad took me on the bus down the number 10 down to the News American. We walked in, and I got an internship. And from the minute I walked in there, they just liked me, and I hustled. I didn't know how to type, but I answered the phone. I tried hard. I made people laugh. I would do
can't imagine
anything
having
they
to
asked me to do.
with the finger situation
Oh,
you
yeah.
have, dude.
Well, I got thrown out of typewriting class. They brought the paper and put it over.
I thought maybe it was a typewriting
I cried, dude.
accident.
I walked
Yeah.
out. That's how I met Don Moeller. I was down I said, "Mr. Moeller, you got to get me." So they put me, you know what they put me? In horticulture.
No way. At the paper?
No, at school, high school.
at
When I got
school.
thrown out of typewriting,
Gotcha.
I went to horticulture class.
That's hilarious.
I'm being serious.
Don't tell me you're a chicken pecker.
No. I mean,
He can type.
I can
I've
type.
seen him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nestor, let me ask. So you're at the paper. You're this kid. You're an intern. When did they say, "Yeah, go cover a concert"? How did that come up?
Wow, this is these people are still in my life.
Yeah,
and
of course.
I've talked to them recently. It's been 41 years. So in 1984, in January, I started showing up,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
Hey, kid, can you come in?
Right.
I work sort of 5 to 8 answering phones. What they needed was, my first job was, if you were where'd you go to high school, Mickey?
I went to 6 of them.
Okay, pick one.
The Curly.
Curly. So let's say you're the Curly team manager for the soccer team there.
Right.
You were the one at the end of the game, the team nerd, that
Yeah.
had to call the paper and say,
We won
Stitz,
3-1.
2 goals.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
Coachella, 2 assists.
That's what you started doing.
I did that on the phone. And I had Coachella's at CUCC, right? So, and I learned how to type with the phone on my ear.
Yeah.
And I would take calls. I took a call one time from somebody drunk. We used to get the best phone calls there, man. There was one guy who called from Highlandtown. This is 1985. So keep in mind, you know where you're, Super TV.
Yeah, of course.
He called, and I pick up the sports.
Yeah.
Are the Orioles on black and white or color tonight? And what that meant was, are they on Home Team Sports or are they on Channel 13 or 2?
That sounds exactly like my overnight 98 rock
like
calls when I first
every
started.
guy I grew up with.
Everybody thought we settled every bet, right?
Yeah.
And we would say, tell them to call the library, call the if they wanted stats, right?
Yeah.
But if they called, I would try to settle a bet if I knew the answer, or I'd be like this. Somebody would call. Guy called one time. He's like, I have a really important question. It was like, do you have King Arthur in a can or whatever?
Right.
The joke is,
Right. Yeah.
Can you tell me the approximate weight of Shea Stadium? You don't forget these kind of calls. So I'm like, hey, does anybody know? And Ron Wenning, my boss, is like, tell him 2.5 tons. 2.5 tons. Oh, thank you. And so that we would get calls like this. So I'm 15 years old. This is my warm up. This is being a sports writer. But in March, Robbie, my boss, said to me, "Hey, I'm taking you to the Skipjacks game tonight.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit in the press box and eat that. The hot dogs were green.
Yeah.
Up in the press box up there, and there were 1,100 people for the Binghamton Whalers on a Tuesday night in February. And he took me down to the locker room. I met Gene Ubriaco.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I covered the Skipjacks. I covered Gavin. My first byline came in that summer. I was in the newsroom because in summer I didn't have to work. I had a pregnant girlfriend. It was summer '84, and it was a tabloid newspaper called Sports First. I did a huge thing at Baltimore Positive last year. It was the 40th anniversary of it closing. So you're familiar with Sig, right? Michael Sigliano. He was the original artist brought here to be the sports cartoonist. Right. And Irsay was just about to leave. March of '84 is when the team left. So I was there the night before and the night after, but I didn't work that night. But I was a part of the newspaper team at that time in '84. Wow. So in that summer of '84 with the Olympics, the Mary Lou Retton Olympics. Right. And I live right up the street here. I'm 15 and I'm down at the paper on a night working, and it was on top of us, getting the Olympics out and getting the paper out. The Orioles were in the pennant race. We'd lost the Colts. And somebody came in the newsroom and they're like, hey, kid, I need you to write a story. I'm like, story? What? Story?
I'm your guy.
I'm your guy. Right. I'm writing for the Dundalk Eagle. I'm writing for the Avenue, which I was doing, at the time, just getting $10 to write a story, Yeah. Or doing it for free. I would have paid them to do it.
Right, I'm with you.
2 years earlier, I was delivering the Dundalk Eagle up here, right? So
what'd they ask you to write?
Teresa Andrews won the gold medal in LA. They're like, you got to call Murray Stevens over to North Baltimore Aquatic Club. This is, Phelps. I don't know if Phelps is born in '84, right? I mean, whatever. Yeah. And I got Murray Stevens on the phone, and I did a little story. And Andrews strikes gold. Page 8 of the News America.
And
my dad cut that shit out and his wallet to the day
16?
guy. I was 15.
Wow.
15.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So about 3 weeks later.
You still got that article somewhere?
I got them all. Yeah. Well, that's part of the documentary, So in August of '84, I had a very, very pregnant girlfriend. My son was born in September '84.
By the way, I don't know if anybody's realizing this. He's 16 years old and his girlfriend's pregnant.
15.
Yeah.
15.
And he's writing articles for the newspaper.
In September, I'm in the newsroom, in the main newsroom at the News America, because they didn't have room for me in the back. And I was like a kid, man. I was 15, but I looked 10. I mean, when I was 15, I didn't have like a must. I looked young. Really young, out of place young. And I was like a mascot in the newsroom, and this entertainment editor liked me. And he came over to me. He's like, I hear you can write. Have you ever heard of Aerosmith? And I'm like, yeah, Scott, I know who Aerosmith is.
Yeah.
Steven Tyler's going to be calling on that phone in 15 minutes. Make some questions up for him and interview him. And it was Tom Hamilton that actually called.
Yeah, gotcha.
But it was from the band. They had a band interview.
Aerosmith.
Mr. Hamilton. And I said to Scott, I'm like, Scott, can I just book Rockstar? Like, can I just do this? He's like, yeah, sure, man. We need bylines. And I said, well, Rush is coming in 3 weeks. He said, well, find out what label they're on and call the label up in New York and tell Sherry Ross that you want to interview Geddy Lee. And 2 weeks later, Geddy Lee called and I interviewed Geddy Lee. And then 2 weeks later, Paul Stanley called and interviewed Kiss. And 2 weeks later, Rick Emmett called and interviewed Triumph. And 2 weeks later, Walt Parazator from Chicago.
And what do you do, Nestor?
I did Chicago.
Are these mostly on the phone, or do you go down there with a microphone?
It was all phone.
Yeah,
it was all phone
stuff.
All phone. Yeah. Kevin Cronin, Maurice B. Wagon.
Did you get any invites to shows?
Survivor. backstage pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a picture of me and Steven Tyler.
Unbelievable, right?
Like
I mean,
when I was 15 years old when that picture was taken, and I'm trying to act older. And then I met you 2 years later, right? I mean, right?
You know, my favorite thing about having Nestor,
yeah,
we don't have to talk.
right. We just leave.
It's like Johnny Carson with Rodney. You just fucking say hi, and he entertains everybody. I could listen to you talk.
It'd be the funniest thing in the world right now if I just went, all right.
No, I mean, Nestor, I think, listen, I could listen to your story for hours because it's true, it's authentic, it's Baltimore.
It's all bullshit.
No, it's not. That's the thing. Now, you did that for years. I meet him. Literally, he's like 18. I'm 18. I think
we're the same age.
Yeah, he's a month older than me. So we're like 18, 19. We meet in
How did you get at 18 or 19? Were you like a bar back?
So
Why did you get hired?
You know what? It was a little later when I met you. If I'm really honest, I was 19 or 20.
I was 19 and Bud Becker, you know, like
that's the years I came in.
The only rule in Hammerjacks was I wasn't allowed to drink.
Right. That was me too in the beginning. I couldn't drink.
That's so funny. My first year in radio, 17, Hammerjacks couldn't drink.
Yeah.
Same deal.
Yeah, it's wild.
Well, Brillhart was, a huge part of that.
Mike
that
Brillhart,
scene.
he was the house DJ.
Right.
But Nestor, so I meet you, we hit it off. And just I guess it's being East Baltimore kids. There's just a vibe.
I just remember sitting in that little couch back there, in that little room with you all the time.
Yeah, it was the best. But you know, now, man, here you are. You own a radio station. You own an internet radio station. You are, I mean, look, anybody knows your name, and you did it all on your own, man. It's like,
I didn't.
No,
man.
what I
That's
mean
not
by
fair.
that, listen, what I mean by that, Nestor, and don't discount this.
Other people have to believe
you made it happen, though.
You made it happen, man. Yeah. It's manifest destiny. You believed in yourself. You put yourself in positions to benefit from benefactors, and you didn't let them down, and you did it. And
there's a lot of people that talk and don't do, but you do. You know,
I've done a lot of work on myself, right? You know, I've never had a psychiatrist. Once I was a kid.
Well, that might be part of the fucking problem.
I'm pretty self-soothed on all that, but
right.
I had great parents. You know what I mean? Like, and I was really fortunate to be adopted.
When did the name Nasty come about? Who was it? You? Did you call yourself Nasty? Were you called that? What happened?
See, if you watch the documentary that you actually narrated.
I know, I narrated the whole fucking thing. I don't remember.
Matt's actually watched it.
Let's talk about that for
It's a great documentary.
So,
done by our friend Greg.
To answer that question, Mike Resigliano's kids nicknamed me Nasty Nestor on a night when I babysat them. Then the story is I lost a baseball bet to Resig, and it was in the summer. It had to do with Eddie Murray, and it had to do with
the greatest Oriole of all time.
I went to see Eddie play as a Dodger when he got dealt off to the Dodgers. By the way, free plug. I had Fred Lynn on my show this week, and it's the greatest thing that happened to me until I got here. And I went up to the vet to see the Fanatic and the Phillies, and Eddie played. Oral Hershiser pitched, and Eddie hit 2 home runs that game.
Of course he did.
You know,
is that the one where he shot him back?
What?
You know
Tommy Lasorda?
Wait, no. Hershiser. Remember? Was it him? Used to strike a guy out and he'd give him the gun. No,
I don't remember.
Oil Can Boyd. Remember him?
Oil Can Boyd.
You remember when Eddie got him in the bottom of the top of the 9th? He struck Eddie out twice and did that for him. Orioles are down by 1. It's the top or bottom of the 9th. I don't remember where we were. Eddie gets up. He's 0 for 2 or whatever. Eddie. And there's a man on. And we're down by 1. And boom! Of course, Eddie saves the day. Most game-winning RBIs in Major League Baseball history, by the way. Eddie Murray. He got the home plate, turned around, looked at Earl Cam Boyd and went. It was that moment I said that Eddie Murray is the greatest baseball player I've ever seen in my life.
I love that.
I still stick to it. In my eyes, Eddie's the greatest Oriole. I got him in my top 5 all time. I really do. People think I'm insane. I never saw a clutch guy like that.
Well, when he's playing up the road, there was so much, acrimony in regard. The Orioles were in a toilet at the time.
Right.
But not really. It was 89, I think. So I went up there. The Orioles were actually good. But I came back, and at late night, Resig was in the newspaper, and I said, if you can name these relief pitchers, I'll babysit your kids. It was just like one of those sort of flippantly. Yeah. And he was playing rotisserie baseball and got Todd Froworth, who later pitched for the Orioles, late great Todd Froworth, was the answer to the trivia question that busted me. And I had to go babysit Resig's. My kid was 5, his kids were 6 and 8, and they were terrors, right? Yeah. I had 3 little boys I'm babysitting on a Saturday night, and I sent them to bed early.
And you were nasty.
And they call, instead of Uncle Nestor, they started calling me Nasty Nestor. So that was in
one of the greatest
1989, 90 that happened. And then I went on the radio at late 91 into 92.
Talk about that segue in the radio, man. How'd that come about for you?
Kenny Albert, I was covering the Skipjacks. I was the beat writer for the Skipjacks.
Yeah.
Kenny Albert came to town, and I was trying to get a newspaper job everywhere. I mean, I have so many rejection letters. I have them in a box. Every newspaper in the world rejected me. And so I was going to leave the newspaper. I got a buyout. I was 23 years old, and they offered me a year's pay to leave. And I decided I was disc jockeying. I was playing, Thursday night at the Emerald Tavern, shaking my ass, meeting girls, DJing a Bay Cafe, just different places, right?
Yeah.
Mobile DJing. And Kenny came to me and wanted me to do color in the games because I knew the Skipjacks better than anybody, and I was still covering the team. And I remember saying to him, I'm thinking of leaving a newspaper, and he's like, Nestor, I'm starting a radio show. It's going to be New York style. We're going to do sports every day. And this was in late 91. And he said, pretty much what I did today with you.
Yeah.
It was Jerry Coleman and Kenny Albert. It was Kenny's show, and Jerry's kind of hanging on at the time and filling in because Kenny would go on the bus with Barry Trotz to Fredericton with the Skipjacks.
Right.
So there was nobody to do the show. And it was a big band radio station at 5 Light Street up on the 5th floor. We had a homeless man was our doorman. And it was above the McDonald's
Right.
at 5 Light, literally the center of Baltimore Street and Light. Right
Wow.
there. And it was just old building. And it was WITH. It was just, it smelled like cigarette smoke and coffee that was spilled on the floor. Pictures of Buddy Dean on the wall from the 50s. And a couple of old disc jockeys, Rockin' Robin worked there.
Oh my God.
Freddie Robinson was my
Rockin'
lead-in.
Robin.
Oh man, Freddie and I interacted every night. Wayne Gruen, if anybody remembers Ken Jackson, Alan Field, big band radio all day. And at 5 o'clock, Jim Ward and Paul Kapelke, who later was my general manager, wanted to have a sports thing to compete with BAL. Because the Orioles were hot. Camden Yards was about to open, right?
Yeah.
And we had Kenny F. and Albert. And Jim Ward said he's not going to be here long.
Right.
They knew.
Oh, it's so great here.
Yeah. So Kenny said to me, will you do the things? And Kenny said, I'm doing a show. Will you come sit in? And on December 13th, 1991, I had put in I'm leaving. I left the Sun on Martin Luther King Day, January 15th of 92. I left the Sun after 6 years. And that period of time, Kenny invited me in. I did the show. And then I did the show like once or twice with Coleman, and that did not go well. And Jim and Paul taught me how to sell sponsors. So I literally, my first sponsor was Pepe Perella, former curly soccer coach.
So Pep Perella, for those of you who don't know, I've talked about him on this show many times.
One of my favorite humans ever to walk the earth.
One of the greatest guys I ever met. He was my first soccer coach. Taught me everything about
my
the
first
game.
sponsor, Mickey. Did you know that?
At Pep's?
No. He had gotten rid of peppers. It was pepperoni pizza.
Oh, down on
down where the McDonald's is by Coco's, Harford Road, right by Zeke's, where Zeke's is now.
Yeah, it was above Meridia, one block on the right. I worked there. I made pizzas there.
Dude, he had a shrimp scampi pizza.
Unfucking believable.
It was the best pizza I've ever had in my life.
I can't think about it. I can't. No.
Fat guy talk.
This
is fat guy talk.
Yeah, I can. But I don't know how. I know how to make it. I don't know how to make Pep's shrimp
My first
scampi.
sponsors were Pep Perella, Tony Tochterman at Tochterman's Tackle,
and
a man named Peter Martucci at O'Toole's Fireside Inn at Ritchie Highway and Glen Burnie at Georgia Highway, right there by the courthouse. They were my first ever sponsors. And then Budweiser came right before the strike in 93.
Wow.
And,
so all this
I'm just trying
laid
to
the
feed my
foundation for you,
man. I'm trying to feed my 7-year-old kid.
But the way this stuff fell in place for you, I mean, the newspaper, sports stuff, then you got into a radio station where you learned sales too. I mean, this all
I had to
kind
learn
of
sales.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of all fed into you owning your station.
Can I play Blue for a minute and tell you my best sales story?
Fuck no.
All right.
Of course you can.
Well, it involves, and if this man's daughter's out there, and I don't think he's still with us, his name is Dave Rausenberger. He was
Turn off if you're watching and you're a Rausenberger.
I love you, Dave. He was over and he lived in Woodlawn, and he was born again. He didn't drink anymore. I think he had some issues, some off the field issues, but he was an old school sales guy, and we would get in the car every day, and he was going to take me out, teach me how to sell. And we would sell places where you couldn't even hear WITH. You know,
Right,
we're down
yeah.
Ritchie Highway. I got a relationship. I know somebody. And I saw it was like used cars.
That's all it is.
And I
bro.
had hair down to my ass, which I still do. I let it
Yeah.
out. It's too hot in here to let it out. And I had an Oriole jersey on in the summer of 1992. And to make myself feel sexy, I had like a briefcase for. You're from Colgate. And you had a briefcase.
Dude.
You know, it was like something. Right?
Hey, I got to tell you a funny story. I know a guy. He's no longer with us. Actually, he was a band manager, right? And he would get bands. This is late '80s, early '90s.
Jack Dean.
No. And he would go into bars and businesses. And he had a briefcase, right? And one day, I was with him, and he's trying to book my band. And he's got the briefcase.
If you don't have a briefcase, you don't look serious.
So here's what happened. We have a meeting, the place books us. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's amazing. We get in the car and he goes, here. And he like hands me the briefcase, right? To hold while he drives. So I take the briefcase and I go, hey man, what's in here?
There's nothing in it, is
He
there?
literally
It's
goes,
like Pulp
he
Fiction.
literally said to me, open it. I opened it up. It was completely fucking empty. There was nothing
I knew it.
in it. And
Yeah,
I'm telling you now, it taught me something I'm like, look the part, pretend the part, fake it till you
Yeah.
make it.
Sure.
No, I would pull out my media kit that I made with the pole puncher. And,
Right.
Right,
you know, Xerox,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
whole thing. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, our signal. I mean, I still have all these media kits. So I would go out with Dave Rausenberger, and this is what he taught me selling. And we would. I would go to him 3-4 days a week. I mean, I made money and I learned how to do this. I got a lot of no, I got a lot of rejection. I learned what a chain was and how I was never going to get money from a chain.
That's so funny.
Just all of that, right? And Hammerjacks is falling apart at that point. So,
Right, it's
so I wasn't getting money from those
93.
kinds of places, right?
Right.
Grunge had taken over, and Dave Rausenberger would get in the car with me, and he'd say he was born again. He didn't drink, didn't smoke, but he cussed like a sailor.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
it was fantastic.
Yeah.
He'd say to me, you know, the first fucking thing I hate when one fucking sales guy won't listen to another fucking sales guy. That's just fucking respectful. So 32 years later, I'm thinking to myself, when you're trying to sell me your stuff
Right.
and you want me to pay attention to it, but
Exactly.
you don't, it's, you know, Ray Bachman, who's one of my all-time favorite humans, he would say, and this is so Calhoun Street, Scott Street, you're Pratt Street, man.
Yeah.
One way.
I know a guy. My dad's great friend. They call him Buffalo, right? And he would say to me all the time, you know, your dad, and it's how he talks. He's like, your dad is He used to call him Charles Street. And I go, why is that? He goes, one way, brother, one way, right? And then one day we're talking, and then he says to me one day, I go, he sees a guy at the bar, and he goes, hey, that guy's got hair like Pratt Street. What the fuck? And I look at the part, and it's just kind of like all fucked up. And he goes, you ever drive up Pratt? You got to make a right, quick left, right, quick left. Start fucking rolling. He's like, guy's got a part like Pratt Street. But yeah, those types of guys are absolutely.
Nobody is funnier than you. I mean,
Me?
I'm going to kiss your ass.
Oh, stop it.
Listen, Matt, I'm talking to you. I lived downtown 3 blocks from Berks for 20 years.
Yeah.
And he played above Berks. And my wife and I, like, I'm crying because this is what you do to me.
Yeah.
I'm literally crying.
Right.
This is not sweat. That's over on this side. This is tears. But I mean, like, you made me laugh, and I'd sit there and heckle you and say, take your shirt off, Mickey. I want to see your titties.
Yeah.
Every night.
And I
do.
would. Fuck it. You want to say them? Here you go.
Mickey would flash me 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I got ice cold mix. But look, man, Berks is a special place, man.
Oh, I loved it.
Berks was where all the sports writers
Hung out. Yeah, I know that.
So, I mean, the onion rings and, you know, Coco's crab cake is very similar to the Berks crab melt that was my favorite thing ever.
Yeah.
And when I go to Coco's, she did a whole bit for me last time I did the show over there. Cheddar cheese on an English muffin with crab meat. Oh my God. Like, oh, you got a Coco. Yeah, you're a Coco's person. Look at you.
Go to me for a second, Matt.
Yeah.
Loves Marcella. Loves Marcella.
Oh, the best.
So no, but
Greatest crab cakes, man.
But
yeah.
her crab cake, her recipe is the same sort of thing. So
Yeah.
when I take her crab cakes home, I make Berks crab melts, and I tease her all the time and say, you should add this to the lunch menu as a throwback, and with your onion rings. You get great onion rings too.
Oh.
But the onion rings were as big as our head,
Dude,
right?
Yeah,
So
incredible.
Berks was like
awesome.
just I love your Royal Farms, not really, but
Rofo, call us. We'd
Yeah,
like you to sponsor.
Rofo, we want you. Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I was told no one listens to me by Rofo. So
Is that what they said?
you have no idea. Do you want comedy on Royal Farms?
Dude, I don't give a shit. They're not a sponsor. If they do, if they say,
If
hey,
you knew
we're
how
going to call
little-
you, I'll take the show down.
If you
I
knew,
love Rofo chicken. I love it.
I love Rofo. I love restaurant. I've been
too.
eating them for 30 years.
Me too.
I have been treated with some disrespect that the world will know about. But I had thought about doing an April Fool's joke where, and I swear to God, I talked to Rain Pryor about this.
Yeah, I love Rain.
I love Rain.
Yeah, the best.
Do you remember Stir Crazy? You
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Richard Pryor, Gene
will you
Wilder.
do this with me to get a Royal Farm sponsorship right now?
Yes.
You put a chicken suit on. I'll put a chicken suit on. You can write MS68 on my knuckles if you want, or whatever you want to write on it. And you and I can film the scene, but we'll.
What is it?
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try out to be Justin Tucker because they can't bring him back. So if you and I try to get a sponsorship, you'll save money, knock on wood,
Dude.
if you do what a good woodpecker should.
How about this? You and I,
Right.
on both of our shows.
Nobody loves Royal Farms more. Who is eating more Royal Farms chicken than Mickey Cacciello and Nestor Aparicio? No.
Maybe Matt Davis.
I
Maybe
eat a lot of Rofo chicken.
Matt is
man.
in here,
Oh,
brother.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
It's the
I
greatest.
have films, hours. I've eaten Rofo chicken in 50 different places
Me
in this
too.
state.
Have you waited 45 minutes for them to bake
Never.
new
I
chicken
have.
breasts?
It's always real
sat-
fresh, real fast.
I'll tell you what, I went in
As
about.
their 27-year spokesperson. I was
Yeah.
their
They sell out
spokesperson
fast,
for
too.
27 years,
Yeah.
and they're under new advisement. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to get their attention.
Yeah.
So when they fired me at Christmas time after 27 years, I thought, if I dressed with Rain Pryor and did a chicken suit thing, they would at least see it. If you and I did a chicken suit thing, I mean, you take your tens of thousands of listeners and the 10 or 11 I have.
Oh, stop it.
And if you and I did a shtick just at the Royal Farms, pick the Royal Farms you want. And we just did it in the parking lot, more chicken suits, and we made one of them TikTok videos. You know about TikTok? You put that ad on the TikTok.
Hey, I'm telling
And
everybody
then
right now.
it gets viral. And then when it gets viral,
Here's what you should
we
do.
get sponsorships. And the next thing you know, Mickey's Talks brought to you by Western Fries.
Mickey
what-
Clucks, man.
Mickey Clucks. Here's what I want to tell you, Nestor. Fuck them. Do not.
I had a
Dude,
26-year-old
right.
girl say to me, "We've been wasting our money all of my life with you."
A 26-year-old girl
I
said
don't-
that.
she looked 26 to me.
Right,
I don't know. Do
Here's something I've realized about people, and listen.
you know how much I love Royal Farms? You know how
It's-
hard it is for me to.
Yes, I do.
I didn't know that whole backstory, by the way.
Yeah,
Well, nobody
Nestor.
did because I don't sell
Yeah.
that stuff on my show.
Yeah.
right.
I save it exclusive.
Oh, yeah. Look, hey, Ed Hale announced he's running for governor here. Nestor told Royal Farms to fuck off here.
No,
This
I
is-
did not.
Listen,
They
man.
told me to fuck off.
Right.
This
This is what I don't think you get about you. And this is the thing.
I'm polarizing.
So am I. No, that's the thing we are, man. Like, except I think you at times, Nestor, you get worried about it. I never gave a shit. Like, I say what I say and what I think, and then whatever people react to it, if I'm wrong, and in later I go, yeah, you know what, that was fucking stupid.
I think we should do the chicken suit just because we love Royal Farms.
I think
and
we
I don't care who knows it. I
Well,
don't care who knows I love Royal Farms.
Here's what I think we should do. I think you and I and Matt should all team up and just start. Look, this whole idea, I figured something out. All the media in the world, except for the private movie channels, are just they're there to distribute advertising. That's what it's there
Right.
for. So my point is this.
to build business for me, from
Right.
my heart.
For-
I mean,
yes.
what I'm here to do
Right.
is help Costas stay in business.
Listen, I know,
And-
by
and
the
I-
way, your relationship with Costas, I got to tell you something. We went in. Were you with us when we went with Craig Gass? And could you go that night?
Yeah.
They treated us like goddamn royalty. And 4 people there said to me, you know, Nestor comes in here all the time.
No.
Yes.
I live in Dundalk. I mean, I'm from Dundalk.
But do you understand, like, dude, I don't think you get it. You are a personality. You are iconic in this town. Everybody knows you, loves you, or hates you. So
why do they hate me?
I'll tell you why. Because you have opinions. that differ. You have the balls to stand on your fucking morals and say, fuck the Orioles. They're wrong. They're out of line. Fuck the Ravens. They're wrong. They're out of line. Fuck this. Whatever it is you're talking about, you do it sincerely. You don't do it from a place of, oh, I can't say this because they won't give me my $500 check.
I want to help Royal Farms.
Listen,
right?
Listen, you asked the specific question. Why do people hate you or think you're so polarizing? Because you have the balls. Balls are the most intimidating thing in a human being. When someone is fearless to say what they think or feel, you automatically win, even if you lose listeners, because what you are winning is more credibility, more authoritarian sort of the way you do your thing. You should not cater, and we don't, to anything or anyone. If we're talking about something, Matt knows, and I don't like it, that fucking sucks. It doesn't matter to me. I believe that I am smart enough to make rational decisions. I know I'm goofy and I come off with weird opinions, but at the end of the day, I 99.9% of the time believe what the fuck I'm saying. And if you don't agree with me, I accept that. What they can't accept is I won't change my mind for them. I will accept them disagreeing.
I can't change the truth and I can't change the morality of it. But it's funny to say that because Art Modell's 100th birthday would have been yesterday. Right?
One of the greatest dudes I ever met in my life.
Art Modell, when I met him, was under duress, Matt. I mean, like he's getting kicked by the dogs on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And I went up to the top floor in that little skinny building, the Signet building, where their offices first were. And I went into his office and he still had a lot of, energy left. And I never forget this. And you know what's crazy is Mark Viviano told me the same exact story. Mark's on the air. He did this at Faithless a couple weeks ago.
Another phenomenal human being.
Great guy. And I couldn't believe Viviano had the same exact experience.
Yeah.
Art brought me in and he said, young man, never be afraid to criticize me.
Right.
If all you ever do is praise me, they'll never believe a word you say.
Bingo.
That was in 1996. Yeah. I already sort of knew that. And I definitely, listen, man, I've had partners, I've had sponsors.
Yeah.
You can't say this, you can't say that, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I'm like, then I can't have credibility.
Right. Bingo. Man,
you know what I mean?
Good.
Like, if I don't have any credibility, my wife would probably tell you, I was telling you, I've never been to a shrink or whatever, but I've done week-long lockdowns with Tony Robbins. I'm a very, sort of where I come from. But sleeping well is really, really important. I sleep well, not having screwed people over.
Yeah.
But I think at the core of the core, it bothers me when I let people down.
You know why? I mean?
It would bother me if I let my parents down,
Yep.
if I let my name down, if I let my family down, if letting people down is ultimate pain, as Tony Robbins would say.
Sure.
What's the ultimate pain for you? Not keeping your word.
Yeah.
Whatever your word is, whatever you say you're going to do.
Doesn't bother some people.
It really bothers me to not keep my word. Yeah. It really, really, it eats at me. And the problem is, to your point, I expect that from others, and we're in a different world for that.
Nestor, I'm going to tell you something. And this is the truth, man. I mean, we are friends. I mean, we can go to dinner together. We can hang out at each other's house. Like, we're friends. But the thing I want to tell you that I've always been like, God damn it. You've done every single thing right, as far as I'm concerned, for an individual that does what you do. And what I mean by that, you never gave up. You gave that radio station the greatest effort and product it could have. It's an AM signal.
I program really shitty this hour, so they're all here.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, my point is, man, you did it. I'm trying to do it right now. I'm starting something that I've never seen anybody do other than you. You do a live thing every day, and we do it a little different. My time's locked in, and I have guests, and it's a little different than the way you do it. But it's the same philosophy. And here's what I think. I just think that what you're doing is pure. It's real. I'm not a huge sports radio guy. I'm not. It's just who I am. You're like the best I've seen do it, though. For real. Like, when I listen to sports, I listen to you. And here's why. Are you the smartest stat guy I ever met? Nope. Are you, do you know every single player? You know a lot. Here's what you are. Honest and real. So if you're talking about the Orioles, whom I've loved since I was old enough to walk, and you say things, I go, fuck, he's right. So I admire it. And even when I disagree with you, and I have in times over years, politically, things like that, I never once thought to myself, he's a fucking asshole, because I know what you're being is real. Everything you say, you mean. That's all the credibility anyone asks for. I'll disagree with anyone, and I'll also respect them if they are credible. That's the thing you have. And I whenever somebody in mixed company and our names come up, people start discussing radio, TV personalities, your name comes up, somebody says something, I go, shut the fuck up. I've done it 100 times.
I appreciate it.
I go, that guy is the real deal. I've said it to anybody that will listen. No one's ever heard me talk badly of you. No one. And anybody that comes in here and says they have is full of shit. And so what I'm asking you, Nestor, is let's put both of our companies together and make a massive media presence in this town.
I'm telling you, the chicken suit's all I got for Royal Farms.
I don't need it. Listen, I'm telling you, dude. The future.
Highs, if you're listening, I love your eggnog.
Let me tell you who I want on the show. If we're gonna shamelessly self-promote and try to get sponsors, I gotta have a second, Matt. Matt, if you could have any sponsor on the show, that would be a guilty pleasure for you. Who would it be?
Like a local?
Listen, hold on. Escape is up on the block now, all right?
That's right.
I saw that they're selling the land.
Yeah, that's true.
That's part of your news segment, right? That's the news, Matt.
Who would be your favorite sponsor?
I don't know, man.
Dream sponsor.
It would probably be like an Old Bay or
something Baltimore,
something
iconic,
in there,
right?
Yeah.
I think for me,
Royal Farms would be. I would love Royal Farms.
Royal Farms would mean the world to me.
Yeah.
But I got to be honest. The highs thing, I just, because when I was a little kid, I remember highs. Royal Farm wasn't around yet. Wawa wasn't around. Highs was, if you went to a highs, you were like, wow, yeah, this is high. Like, I was poor white trash.
Honestly, Wawa should get in on both of us right now, just to get in on it.
And I've said that Wawa, hands down, not the chicken, because Royal Farms is the best fried chicken. But Wawa, as far as like fast food subs go, banging.
You become a hoagie guy, have you?
Well, I'm a meatball sub guy.
I'll be really honest with you. I've never been in a Wawa in my life.
I've never been in a Wawa?
I maybe pumped gas in Philly once or something. When I say I'm Royal Farms, like Royal Farms is my sponsor. Dude, you want authentic?
Listen,
Royal Farms is my sponsor for 27 years. Do you really think that I ever went to Wawa?
No.
I mean, I'm being really honest with you.
I'm being honest with you.
I never thought I would not have a Royal Farms sponsorship.
It doesn't make sense.
It's fundamentally disturbing to me. Which is why I bring it up on your show, and I never bring it up on my show because it's just not. It's uncouth. He's from Dundalk. He's talking about business on Mickey's show. So
here's the thing.
But it is a thing for. This is how local gets powered. You want Mickey to survive. You want local sponsors.
Right.
You want me on the air. You want local sponsors.
Right. Agreed.
And by the way, I want to say one thing. You said credibility.
Yeah.
At the heart of this, I think the nicest thing anybody legitimate has ever said to me. I was at Towson University last year, and Nancy Grasmick. You know Nancy Grasmick is chief of education.
Yeah.
She's been on my show and all that. Her husband, Lou Grasmick. Lou was John Stebbins' best friend.
Yeah.
So Nancy grabbed me at a Towson event last year where they introduced the president, and on the way out, she said to me, "You bring credibility into every room you enter."
I agree with
and
her.
I thought, man, it made me cry.
Yeah.
I went out in the car and I got that's like, I'm getting old now. And then I lose sponsors and it pisses me off. But I get new ones and it makes me happy.
Right.
And I get Fred Lynn on the show and I get happy. And I mean, I had Jack Hughes and Wang Chung on this week.
Right.
And that made me happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, doing good charity. You know what I had this week? I had the Heritage Fair people on for 45 minutes. They gave me the press release the night before they were going to cancel the fair. And I put it out online. And you know what? Fair's going to be there next week.
I saw that. That's
they
awesome,
resurrected the fair. I did 45 minutes with them. And Wise Market stepped up for that. A bunch of funeral home, a bunch of people stepped up. Community. Forget the sports, forget the music, forget the comedy, you and I are sitting in my neighborhood 2 blocks away from where I've made my whole life, where my son lives, where my elementary school up the street, my son shops in the right. Like it really is about community. That's
the
what
things
98
around
Rock
you.
was ever about. That's what Hammerjacks was ever about. But that's what the Orioles and the Ravens were always supposed to be about. That's why we built the stadiums. And we did
Right.
600. They're not really community oriented.
Well,
they're
listen,
multinational,
I
billion-dollar, arrogant.
I give the Orioles and the Ravens a pass. Here's why.
Go ahead.
They do. I disagree with you a little bit that they don't care about the community. I see them out in it. They do a lot for the poor. They do a lot of inner city things. They do a lot of neighborhood resurrection kind of stuff. And I do think the Ravens and the Orioles, when you're dealing in billions of dollars, Nestor, it's almost impossible to be solely about the neighborhoods around you. It just is. These are multinational corporations.
They do reality television is what they do now.
Of
I mean,
course.
that's literally the business
I
they're in.
understand.
They play football on Sunday
Right.
and they make reality TV
Correct.
the other 340
Correct.
days of the year. They
Correct.
really do.
Yes. And I get it. But I don't expect the Ravens to come to me and go, hey, we're going to give you, $10,000 next year.
No.
It's not going to happen.
But
and I don't blame
I would
them for
expect
that.
the Ravens that send players over here onto your podcast.
Well, it would be
'cause you're
nice.
you.
And I have to.
And you have to kiss their ass. They hired you to do comedy one time
Right.
in their thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I mean, everybody's afraid of criticizing them. This is how Justin Tucker happens, bro.
Yeah.
You want to get down and dirty and shitty about
No.
stuff. This is how a potential alleged predator was out. Could have
Yeah.
been your wife, could have been your daughter, could have been your sister.
Listen, I
So
don't-
and I'm still waiting on the NFL investigation. That's like the inside joke now. Like,
Right.
when's the investigation coming?
I'll be honest with you.
so-
I'll be honest with you, Nestor. I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't, man.
But that's our community, though.
But that's not our job. That's not our job.
Not you're
to
a
police them.
comedian. That's different.
Right. But it's not. I agree with you.
As a media member that's been shut out, it's
I
my
get
job
it.
to ask questions of them,
Sure.
and to have them be all the great things you said about me,
Yeah.
accountable,
Right.
credible,
I'm with you.
believable, honest. I mean, Rick Vaughn today did my show for an hour. He's the old PR guy from the Orioles,
Yeah.
ran the Rays, and he mentioned the word trust
Yeah.
so many times. And we're talking about a guy who did this at the top of school.
Sure.
Forever, Rick Vaughn. I mean, I bring people I really respect onto my show. You
I've
know
been
what I
on
mean?
a couple times, Matt. He must respect me.
No, I mean, I bring people I respect on
Yeah.
because I'm trying to learn things. I'm trying
Sure.
to learn from them and be a better person, be a better just be a better communicator, be a better everything. Rick Vaughn talked about trust
Yeah.
and with a team. And he said the Tampa Rays never had the trust of the community there. They never trusted the first owner. They never trusted the second owner. And I think about the Angelos thing, and I
Yeah.
think about trust. I trusted Steve Bisciotti.
Yeah.
I trusted him with my livelihood, my business, my credibility. I trusted John Harbaugh that he's the Christian man he says he is. I trusted Eric DeCosta, who I've known almost as long as you,
Yeah.
right? Who's been in my home, I've been in his home, that these people wouldn't see me get disappeared like these ICE motherfuckers are doing
Right.
to people, disappearing me and acting like I don't belong there.
But is that what they really did? Or they just say, we don't want you here?
No. This was a gang tackle. This was go. I've
And
written a lot, and I'm not going to turn this into that.
Right.
But it is about trust. You and I what do we have between us?
Oh, sure. We trust each
We
other.
trust each other.
Right.
We trust each other.
Mhm.
That's why we're friends, right?
Right.
And a business that loses its trust. I met David Rubenstein last year. One time I met him. I went out to Beth DeFillo, night before Trump got elected. He gave a speech. And I went out and I waited till every selfie, every autograph ball, everyone left the church. And I went, the synagogue. And I went up and I said, Mr. Rubenstein, Nestor Aparicio, I said, you've said that my cousin is one of your favorite baseball players because he did say that.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember Louis. I said, I'm on a radio station. I want you to say, I got to call Chris Yole. I said, they don't want to deal with me. I said, I had problems with the other ownership. And I said, I just want to tell you that those empty seats at that playoff game last year, that's trauma in our community. That's trauma it's a lack of trust.
Yeah.
The fans don't trust. So when I heard Rick Vaughn say that to me, there's a trust that goes into a Royal Farms relationship,
Any relationship,
your relationship with
there's trust.
Matt. There's trust. And when that's broken, that's a very, very difficult thing.
All right. Listen.
In
though.
any case, what the Redskins did to the community in Washington.
Hold on
right?
now.
You know,
You're right in a sense. But here's the thing I don't want to do. on this show. I don't want to go down that road. Have you been wronged? I listen. I know kind of what happened with the Orioles and kind of what happened with the Ravens. I never think that throwing a media person out of anything is fair, even if their opinions disagree with you. If they're writing lies, if they're being malicious, yes, by all means, fuck them. I don't think you're that way. I think you are not insanely, incredibly opinionated, which is why you're good at it. So all I'm telling you is
I don't like losing either from a sports fan
of
perspective.
Course,
you know?
but
the Ravens win. God bless them.
But here's the thing: at the end of the day, if you want people to respect you, you have to respect their decisions. What I mean by if the Orioles say "fuck Nestor," I don't mean this badly, though, dude. If somebody said "fuck Mickey," I'm not giving him $1. I'll never do a show. Whatever. I got to accept it, and I don't even mention it. And I get why it hurts you. I do, but I'm telling you now, you're bigger than that. There are people that listen to you because of that.
I'm telling you, it hurts the product, man.
It
when
does.
You can't ask questions.
I agree.
When Mike Elias is firing the manager on Saturday and hiding for 3.5 days to Milwaukee, and there's no Ken Rosenthal or John Eisenberg or John Stedman or Vince Bagley or Mark Viviano or Scott, nobody's going to hold him accountable.
Right.
I'm going to hold him accountable.
Good for you.
I'm going to hold him accountable.
But you saw what happened when you did. You understand what I'm saying? You can't blame
Does that
them.
make me the bad guy?
Not at all.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make them either. They just say, fuck it, I'm not dealing with it. Then we as consumers go, okay, the guy asked a legit question. The guy got pissed and threw him out. Do I still want to support
There are plenty
that?
of people in your audience that have voted for Trump. This is a Trump play card of how to do things. It's not the way things should be done. It doesn't build credibility. It doesn't build trust. It doesn't build community. It doesn't build all of those core things that we spent the first hour talking about.
Yeah.
Which is,
you know what it does build, though? Here's what it builds, I think. Anxiety and animosity for us and them. So here's all I'm saying. Anybody, the sports people that come across this, if you don't have Nestor in the media room, in my opinion, you're not, because you don't like the questions he asks. I think the blame's on you. I do. You know, look, if anything, and you're gonna make your living off of the public and off of the media, you got to take the good and the bad. I don't think you are.
There is no accountability. What's
wait a minute. Hold on,
Nestor.
Hold on. What I'm telling you is this: we could name 10 stories that you'd be right about theoretically. They're right theoretically. It's their company. They don't want you there. Fuck it. All right, I won't. I'll scream from the side. So all I want to do is this. I want to figure out a way for you especially and these organizations that don't really want to deal with you to realize they should. And I don't want to talk about it anymore because I know it's emotional and I know it hurts you, but you're going to survive. You always have. That's the thing I respect about you the most. Somebody screws you over. Somebody pulls out, you replace them.
Well, the best part is I'm not there being mistreated.
Well, then be happy about that.
I'm not in a locker room where Justin Tucker has a vuvuzela,
right,
looking up at the clock, telling us it's time to get out.
Here's the question.
That's
all right,
and no one was allowed to speak out about being mistreated by players.
Let me ask you this.
There was no liaison to.
But is that your job?
To be mistreated?
To demand
for an hour, the hour you're there, that to be mistreated. I don't demand anything.
Okay, fair enough.
I demanded the air to breathe that they would not allow me to breathe, that they allow my Caucasian partner to breathe.
So who ultimately?
He's also the only Hispanic media member on Pride Night. By the way, you're costing me my Pride Oriole jersey night because I can't line up early, but because I'd be down there, on a 100-degree night. But just that part of the accountability. We can move. I mean, it's your show, dude.
No, I know, but I respect you enough to let you do this. And
let me. I can do this on my own anytime I want.
Not what I meant. I meant on the show. I want people to know why I like you and why I respect
and why they hate me.
Well, I don't think it's a hate situation. I don't. I think it's one of those things where it's going to work out. Back to us teaming.
I did think I was getting my press pass back from the Orioles last year.
And you didn't?
I just thought new ownership things would be new and nothing's new. And that's really, it's, and I said this all week, it's kind of F with my mental health a little bit.
I can tell. And I don't mean that in a bad way.
In regard to giving them 4 hours a night, every night, the rest of my life, every summer, the rest of my life, when I think about how little joy the Orioles have brought me in any recent sort of way, and to say this is really demoralizing to have them in last place.
I get it,
again.
brother.
You know,
I get it.
It's not fun to talk about it. It really isn't.
Look, I don't want you to ever think I'm like, dude, do what you do.
That's the
and
plan.
Nothing's going to change. And right now we're going to do what we do. And that's the news with Matt, brought to us by Barnes Paving.
Tell us about Barnes Paving.
BARNESpaving.com. They are simply incredible. I love these guys. They were our first sponsor. They sponsored us when we had, 5 shows under our belt, Matt?
It was the early days.
And they came in. They came in big. They got us off the ground. They're incredible. Driveways, whatever you need done. Barnes Paving, BARNESpaving.com. Nestor Aparicio joining us on the show today. Nasty Nestor, if you don't know, here it is, our little ditty of news called That's the Facts. Matt, what do we got, buddy?
Well, gentlemen, if you don't know, we are in the middle of a heat wave. But they're saying that this heat wave breaks centuries-old records. So in the Northeast, the National Weather Service's Philly reached 100 degrees by mid-afternoon. New York City hit 99, and all-time June monthly records set in multiple cities: Boston, Providence, Rhode Island, Newark, New Jersey. And you should probably check the pool, especially if you're down in Florida, like this guy had to do here. Gets hot, too. This guy woke up to find an alligator swimming in his swimming pool here, doing some laps. Edward McClellan decided it wasn't a good day to dive into the pool. Had to call the Florida Fish and Wildlife.
I was going to say, who do you call?
To come get him. Yeah, they came and got this gator out of the pool for him. So luckily, he's able to enjoy stuff now.
I saw a coyote in Towson last year.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're all over the place now.
Are you allowed to kill them? Like
kill a coyote?
Yeah, like I don't even know,
man. I mean, there's there's a hunting season for deer. I know. I imagine there's some kind of law about that, or if there is, I don't even know if there's a coyote hunting season.
Well, that's like the closest thing we'd have. Well, they have bears in Western Maryland.
Yeah.
There's bear season, right?
I don't know. Is there in Maryland?
I think there's black bear season. Yeah. I don't know.
You can hunt bears?
I would never hunt.
Yeah.
I don't even think it's a sport. I don't even, any other sport, both teams know they're in the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? Think about it.
All right. So a wild day for Diddy, man. The defense spent 30 minutes presenting the case, which isn't much here. He's on pace to be in the jurors' hands this Friday. Yesterday, the prosecution rested their case. The defense entered into evidence a few texts between Diddy and Cassie Ventura. They then rested. The defense called 0 witnesses in presenting their case in less than 30 minutes compared to the prosecution that took 30 days to question 34 witnesses. The judge confirmed with Diddy that he chose not to take the witness stand in his own defense. And he told the judge, quote, "That is my decision with my lawyers. I want to tell you thank you. You're doing an excellent job." That was Diddy's quote.
Listen, nothing's going to make me happier till I see him walk out of that courtroom, and they take him out back and shoot him on live television.
You know what's scary, man? His odds of walking free are going up here.
Yeah, I know they are.
Late yesterday afternoon, prosecutors announced that they're no longer pursuing charges of attempted arson and kidnapping against Sean Combs. Feds previously floated theories about how the mogul masterminded a Molotov cocktail left in Kid Cudi's car and may have forced a former assistant to help against her will. Just because the charges are being dropped doesn't mean that the prosecutors are saying he's innocent, but it's more likely that they've determined that they don't have enough evidence for a jury to decide to convict beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah, if he gets off, I think he gets killed, but what the hell do I know? Nestor, let me ask you this.
Who's Diddy?
Shut up. Don't even try it. Don't even try it. Here's my
You don't have a Diddy belt buckle?
Well, my bad company belt buckle.
Yeah.
Nestor collects rock and roll belt buckles. We'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah. But listen, Nestor, in all seriousness, like these kind of monsters, these megalomaniacs, these guys that Vince McMahon, P. Diddy, these monsters, like, do you even care what happens to them? Like, I just get to the point where I'm like, hey, the guy's a monster. Just throw him off a bridge. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm insane.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yes.
Right? I mean, when you think that.
But it doesn't always. There are men who have had incredible power and wielded incredible influence that were good people.
This goes back to all the things we talked about.
Yeah.
credibility, integrity.
Yeah.
Do you keep your word? Do you say, just all of that. And the Diddy thing is interesting to me because I'm not all that interested in it because I'm not interested in him.
Right.
Whereas
that's
like
how I
O.J.
feel.
Simpson was,
Yeah,
I
of
was
course.
more vested in that or
Yeah.
whatever, and people I know of or whatever.
Right.
But I nothing would shock me in that world, right?
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
some of this is a little shocking. though.
imagine if he walked free. I mean, his music career would be over, I think. You think?
I mean, no, I don't.
Really?
No.
You think there's still people that buy records
Dude,
from
here's
Diddy?
the thing
And
you got to realize.
Do you think there are people that want him to be innocent or
Yeah.
like,
Oh my God. You guys don't like. In my opinion,
I don't think it's like OJ, man. People love the juice.
It's not
man,
a race
but-
thing. It's not a
No,
race thing.
I don't mean a race thing.
Well, that's what the OJ
thing was a race thing?
Yeah,
for sure.
hands
Well,
down.
there's people that
100%.
loved OJ Simpson
but
as a
it-
football player too. I think.
I mean, I think that was a very small minority of those people.
Yeah.
I think the majority
Yeah.
of it was a race thing. They felt like for all these years, black people got screwed.
I was in a mixed room when that happened. I was
Yeah.
in Cleveland.
It was unbelievable.
I was in Cleveland at a Holiday Inn in a breakfast
Yeah.
area, and it was lots of people.
Yeah.
Everyone black cheered, everyone white hung their head.
Right.
And I'm in Cleveland in 1994. So,
Yeah. I was on my way to my honeymoon.
it was very racial. I mean, there's no question about that. The Diddy thing there's no question he took some liberties, as they would say. In
Yeah.
I
Animal
mean, we've
House or
got a
whatever,
video
right?
of him kicking the crap out of his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all seen that. That's hard to watch.
I did listen.
Hard to dispute that.
I think this. I think that the gangster culture.
Yeah.
Look, that's what Diddy played up. He was a gangster, right? He was a drug dealer. He got, he put his money into a record label, became legit, blah, blah, blah. He's still a thug piece of shit, right? From the get. So we pretend because he became a celebrity and he became this influential producer and record mogul that he wasn't always a worthless piece of shit. Like he was a fucking gang member. He was a drug dealer. Like, why do we pretend that that's not part of it? That's the part I don't get with people. It's like once you hit celebrity status as a piece of shit,
We make you president.
right. Well,
We make you president.
Stop.
Literally.
stop. All we're saying is that
We did.
we get to a point where we're like, well, he's famous now. All that shit doesn't matter. Right. So having said that, I still look at him like he's a piece of shit. Had he gotten better and legitimized his life, like plenty of people that had a nefarious past have done, clean it up, get yourself together, recognize you were a piece of shit, and now you're not. There are prime examples of that. What I can't accept is this piece of shit getting off on a technicality.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going to.
Luckily he's not in the clear yet. He still faces racketeering conspiracy count, which includes 6 other predicate acts: bribery, witness tampering, forced labor, and the possession of distribution of drugs. So I guess we'll see.
That sounds pretty serious.
Yeah. I mean, any one of those things
Well, I just
will
spent 4
put you
minutes
away.
with you on it
Yeah.
more than I really,
Right,
in my
of course.
world,
Yeah.
it just
Yeah.
doesn't come to me in that way, you
right.
know?
Yeah.
But
I understand, but I mean,
sometimes I don't care what happens to him. If he's guilty, I hope he rots in hell.
right.
Like, literally.
Exactly.
Sure.
But I think, like Matt's saying, there's a good shot he could walk because of all this legal bullshit.
Because of they're trying to get him on the big racketeering charge,
Which
it's like a combination of all that. So if they miss that. Does that mean he walks?
Yes, and I'm going to tell
Yeah.
you why. Because these prosecutors, it's a lot like kind of what you were talking about in a different way. Their sole job is to prosecute. But what happens a lot is they go, well, if I win this one, I could run for state's attorney, and then I could become the governor. And so it's all this bullshit sort of career building.
Yeah, a lot of them are doing it
decisions.
for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just aggravates the shit out of me. And I look, a guy gets caught selling weed. I don't care if he's got 2 pounds of weed. He shouldn't even go to jail, right? Fine the fucking guy 10 grand, right? 20 grand. Nobody's out there. There aren't girls being shipped all over the country because of a fucking pot problem. There aren't girls, behind a building performing oral sex on a guy for a joint, right? So that's where I think we lose credibility as a society, where we put men in jail for 9 years because they were distributing pot. Like, who gives a shit? Like, I don't get, like, if a guy got a truckload of cigarettes and he's selling them for $2 a pack because they were free, does he go to jail for 100 years for selling a drug across state lines? Like, when do we just wise up?
I hope they get him on something. You know,
Yeah, I hope
that's
they
all
get
we
him
can
on.
hope.
Hope they get him on beating the shit out of a woman, on sex trafficking, on drug distribution, on all the shit.
Well, they say if they get him on racketeering, he's going away to federal prison for life. It's a life sentence.
Yeah, no, it should be.
Did you guys see what happened in D.C. over the weekend? I got some video here. There was a 30-year-old driver who was arrested for doing donuts down the National Mall in Washington, D.C.
The guy's my hero.
When he got caught, he told the police it was just a joke.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
This is court documents indicate Curtis Lear, 30, is facing multiple charges after he was seen speeding down the National Mall over the weekend.
Dude, you're on drugs doing that, right?
Yes.
You're doing that, right?
Are you just drunk or high?
Yeah, you're something.
Made a bet with a really hot girl that you had to win.
I mean, you're going to jail, and it didn't even look like all that much fun, right? I mean,
I don't know. I think that would be a blast.
I mean, this guy's he's right on the walkway down there where pedestrians walk.
If you're going to go to jail, get your money's worth, right?
That ain't a bad trip for a weekend for jail. That video is going to live forever. Every one of his friends are going to be like, dude, remember that time in 25 when you fucking did donuts on the mall? How many guys are going to be able to hear that story?
Listen to his charges, man.
Yeah.
Let me see what he got here. He got multiple charges, including destruction of federal property, assault with a dangerous weapon, disorderly conduct, fleeing from law enforcement in a motor vehicle, reckless driving, and operating a vehicle off-road in a way that damaged protected land.
And he didn't even
That's
storm
more
the
than
Capitol.
Diddy, man. That's more than Diddy.
Yeah, he didn't even storm the Capitol. That's a great point. That's hilarious.
Well, they get out of jail for that.
Yeah. Stop with your politics on this show. I don't give a shit. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you something right now. I feel differently than you about some shit politically. Some shit I agree with. But here's what I'm going to tell you. Right now, talking about it, other than to say we need to calm down, isn't helping anybody. Nobody's dealing in the truth right now on both sides.
And this just did.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez getting married. Guess what they want for their wedding presents?
What?
Nothing. They're actually going to
what do you get, Jeff?
Like when
Bezos?
they're billionaires, right?
You know what I would get him?
More junk.
I would get him a subscription to Alibaba. You know what that is?
Yeah.
Is that the name of it?
It's a competitor.
It's his competitor in China.
Yeah.
And they're apparently like 5 times bigger than
Well,
Amazon.
Alibaba is a little different because what Alibaba is, it's a place where you can go, you can get wholesale items. Like if you wanted to sell T-shirts or hoodies,
you could do that on Amazon.
You could, but I'm saying that's what that's built for. You go there, you make these bulk deals,
right,
with companies in China mostly.
Yeah,
China, and you sell stuff. So
you guys ever been to Asia?
Never been to Asia.
Never been to Asia?
No, and let me tell you something. You have. I know that.
Have you ever been anywhere densely populated, like really, other than like New York?
Well,
like
Mexico City.
Mexico City. Okay,
Yeah,
so
it's so overwhelming.
It's just something that you know. If you
have you ever been, Matt, when there's like 10 million people in one city?
I mean nothing like that. I mean, I've been, L.A. and New York.
I've been to Beijing. I've been to Tokyo. I've been to Hong Kong. I've been to Sao Paulo. I've been to Rio. I've been to Buenos Aires. They make New York look like a pimple.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
and I don't mean that disrespectfully.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
But you're like it's 5 times bigger.
Yeah,
I'm like. You just have no idea how many people are there.
No, I mean, you see like the streets in India too, and it's just so incredibly overcrowded.
Just a lot of people in that part of the world to power business.
You got to remember.
That's why the NBA wanted to go to China. I don't want to bring politics in.
No,
that's why the NBA went to China. There's a lot of money there.
Well, think about it this way. Europe and South America, they've been fucking for thousands of years, right? Yeah. There's just so many people. America is only 250 years old. And we already got 300 million. Now, a lot of them came here, but anybody alive today, 99% of them were born here, right? Trust me, in 100 years, 200 years, America will be the most populated country on planet Earth.
Not if AI and robots take over and we stop having babies, man.
Mick, I disagree strongly with that because I don't think it's possible.
Why do you say that?
Well, first off, everybody that looks like me, they're putting in masks and throwing in cages. So, like, they're, like they don't want to really grow the country.
You can't control
really
yourself.
growing the country.
All right, fine. Because you keep taking shots.
There's just a lot of people in Asia, dude.
Listen to me,
like,
Democrat
I'm just telling you, they're
listen.
never gonna get over here.
Listen to me right now with your politics. If you're going to keep throwing them in, I'm going to eventually snap and come back at you on this stuff. So listen, I'm telling you now, I disagree with you. In some ways, I agree. But I don't agree with you.
Matt, I'm not getting invited back, am I?
Yes,
you're
are.
always welcome here,
boy.
dude. You're always welcome here.
Listen.
How dare I talk about the Constitution and democracy?
You motherfucker. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to unload in a second.
Do that?
I'm going to lose a friend and my partner if you let me talk about this shit. Now, listen to me, Nestor. America's going to have 1 billion people in it within 50 to 60 years.
It's going to be all robots, man.
Maybe. Where are you on the AI shit?
Where are you on the Stepford Wives in Dallas all getting together and have a convention and want to make babies? That they're making. So you're saying we're going to make a lot of babies is what you're saying.
I'm saying, Nestor, that every generation has grown since this country's began.
We're not even making kids now. I mean, this is all part of the culture problem we're having at this point. We're making less babies around here. We really are. Certainly making less white babies, which has a lot of people upset.
That might be a good thing, man. Just less people. I'm all for that.
I would like to live somewhere where there's like 40 people.
Yeah.
Because I only need about 40 things.
Well, don't go to Asia, dude.
Right. I know. It's crazy. I couldn't live in those areas.
And what's crazy is there's so many areas on this earth that are just wide open and tons of land, but we all live in these little pockets. You know, we live in these big cities, and when you look at Asia and India, I'm sure they're.
You guys ever
totally
been to like
overgrown.
Dallas, Texas? You've been to
Dallas?
I've
been to Dallas. Yeah.
Everything's completely spread out.
Yeah, well, it's a different kind of city. You got to remember the cities
That's
you're talking about.
the biggest geographical city, isn't it?
I mean, Dallas really exploded about 100 years ago. They understood how to spread things out and don't mass populate, don't condense everything.
Well, no, isn't that the largest geographical
state
city? Is it Dallas? I think
Jacksonville.
Oh, you're right. It's Jacksonville.
But the Dallas thing is that when you go there and see the way they thought of
a city,
it's different than most other cities were thought to be. We're going to build a subway and we're going to have communities. We're going to live with each other.
Right.
Your Dallas model is I don't want anybody near me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around people. I want to have a gun when I walk into Starbucks, and like it is a wild, wild west. It's a different philosophy than community being together. Than you mentioned being Italian communities in Brooklyn where we cousins and we all come together and we're all in it together. I'm in Dundalk. These are row houses where I grew up. Right?
I get it. It's how we grew up.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you're saying there's going to be 1 billion people here.
There are.
Strongly disagree with that because I think there's just so many barriers to creating humans at this point. That's all.
You can't
We
stop.
have contraception. I mean, you know what I mean?
I do.
That alone allows you. That's something they didn't have. They're trying to take it away a lot. Now that we're getting on the politics, they're trying to take that away.
Listen, once Mick starts dating a robot, everybody's going to start dating a robot.
I'm telling you,
and
Nestor.
then we're not going to procreate.
You're not going to
anymore.
catch Alibaba if you're Jeff Bezos. I'm just telling you because there's too many damn people there.
No, I get that. I'm not saying we're going to have more people than
what
China.
are you getting them for their wedding? That's the most important. That's
What would you get?
Actually, what they're doing is they're asking their guests, which charity would you like us to donate to? So that's kind of taking the place of guests.
So they're going to.
But what do you get? A billionaire? I mean,
you know what? I would get
everything is essentially free in the world anyway. You know, they don't have to pay for anything.
I wonder if there's a place
That's what it feels like anyway.
where you could like just the random person could send them a gift. Like, are they registered? They registered on Amazon?
Kmart.
My present would be my presents.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
That's what I'd say.
You know what I would do, honestly? I'd buy him like a T-shirt and send it to him because he doesn't need anything. I would just send him a Mickey Talks care package.
You'd have to get him some weird, eccentric gift to even like make an impression on them. I'm sure. You know,
his ex-wife's giving millions and millions of dollars to Morgan State and locally.
Yeah.
So that's the good stuff in going on in the world. That's literally the Baltimore positive thing that talking about building community. That's
I love
what it's
it.
about.
That's all I want to do. You can't do it talking about politics, dumbass.
Hey, so there were a bunch of people
world.
who got struck by lightning at a South Carolina lake. This happened at Dominion Beach Park on Lake Murray yesterday afternoon, injuring 20 people, including 8 adults and 12 minors who were enjoying the lake. The fire chief said that the first responders from several agencies quickly treated everyone. 12 were taken to local hospitals, all with non-life-threatening injuries. They said it happened yesterday afternoon, and Last week, a 15-year-old in Manhattan was also struck, but is recovering. They, you ever at a pool and they tell you to get out and you're all bummed out because the rain clouds are coming in?
Yeah, I had to do it Saturday.
Man, but you don't realize how crazy and serious it could actually be.
Oh, my God.
You know?
I listen, when I was in the Dominican Republic, right?
Yeah.
Sitting on the beach, I'm by myself, by the way. I'm just sitting there. I'm kind of like just looking at nature. It was in the evening, like probably 6, sun's going down. And all of a sudden out in the ocean, I see one of them, what do they call tornado water spout things.
Yeah.
And I'm staring at it. And one of
this is what body of water?
Caribbean, whatever it's
the Caribbean, the ocean.
Gulf of America.
Yeah, the Gulf of America. And I'm down there. What?
I'm not going to let that go, but go ahead.
Gulf of America?
The Gulf of Mexico. Go
whatever.
ahead.
Yeah. You can say whatever you want about it. The only thing I'm pissed about it, I thought it would have been funnier to keep it Gulf of Mexico and just spell golf differently. GOLF. Like that what I thought would have been the thing. But all I'm saying, I'm sitting there and this local comes up and he says, you should get off the beach, man. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah, that thing comes in, it'll whip you.
It'll go land bound?
Well, no, but what happens is as it gets close, the water it's like sand blowing.
Yeah.
It just whips on you. So anyway, I kind of go back to the hotel. He scared the shit out of me. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't that thing, but the skies got so dark. And I watched a lightning storm over the ocean from my balcony that scared the shit out of me. I saw 20 lightning strikes into the water, and it was insane. Have you ever seen it? Like a lightning storm?
I've had one come close enough to move my hair.
I
was in Jamaica.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Yeah.
Out on the beach, and I'm thinking, I'll just move underneath. It's a little storm.
Oh.
And, a strike happened, good 20, 30 feet away. But, like, I smelled it. I felt it in my teeth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like, I felt the electricity go through
brutal.
me.
Imagine that next level. Because those guys, there were people, obviously, who got in this lake and had to be treated. They weren't electrocuted. They didn't die.
What are you doing when you're on a lake and this happens?
What does that feel like?
You're in the middle of the lake. Yeah.
I don't know.
I have tremendous respect for lightning storm.
Oh my God.
Things that I can't control in
there
that
is
way.
Nothing I respect more than nature.
Moving water.
Nothing.
You know what I mean? Like I've been whitewater rafting and out of the boat up at Yakagani. I ain't doing that again.
Yeah.
We've all been in Ocean City and the wave came in and went just for that minute. You bob down and you're like, oh, like you do that one time
and you don't do it the second.
This is why I don't skydive, bungee jump. Man, I ain't doing that.
I'll tell you, you know what I did last year, Matt? I never told you this. Have you ever seen the bluefish schools come right along the coastline?
No, I don't think so.
So if you're at the beach, sometimes there's like a school of bluefish and they'll come in close, like right behind the waves kind of, and even in them. And you just see it, right? I had never seen this. Dolphins were striking the bluefish and training the young dolphins how to do it. They like hoard them. Anyway, I got in the middle of this school.
Whoa.
Dude, I have a witness. It was the most incredible experience. A dolphin went by me so fast, about 10 feet from me. I could just see it. And the water's going as his bot. And these fish are jumping.
Silver.
Oh my God.
Right?
Wow. And I'm just standing in it. I'm high as shit. I'm not going to lie. I'd smoke pot. And I'm just like, I've never felt that in my life. I literally was in the middle of nature. And I'm 20 feet, and there's other people that started getting in, and this one dude looks at me, and he's like, dude, this is fucking insane. And I'm like, I couldn't even talk really. And people were watching us, then other people got in, and then it kind of went away and went up. I got out, ran up the beach when I saw it, and got back in it. It was like, how people say they go out and they live, like that lady, was it Diane Farr? The lady, the Gorillas in the Mist lady that lived with the gorillas.
Yeah.
What was her name? Diane Fossey,
yeah.
I think it was. She described it as like you're in the middle of another world. You're hopeless.
Yeah, I think that sounds terrifying to me.
But
you enjoyed that?
I'll tell you why. Because when you have that kind of experience, it grounds you. Like I remember getting out. And I sat on the beach for a while, and I just kept saying, like, I've never. Listen. I've had sex. I've been on fire. I got hit by a car. Like I've experienced crazy things. I have never experience something so surreal and so like it changes you to be in the ocean, man. And in the middle of what happens in the ocean that you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And
my wife had a manatee encounter in Florida.
Yeah.
And she it got very really freaked her out.
Yeah.
Katie Pumphrey, have you ever had Katie on your show? Oh,
No.
you guys
She's
got
a
to get her
swimmer.
on. She's the swimmer that swims.
the
12
channels
hours.
and stuff. Yeah.
I had her on like 2 weeks ago.
We should
Fadeley's.
write a note. I don't have a pen over here.
She's great. She's fantastic. And she promotes the trash wheel and and the harbor. I mean, she's
we got to get her on.
She's a great person. And I don't even know her well, but I've had her on. I'm like you, dude. I'm like radio host with her. I'm like, you ever swim with dolphins?
Yeah.
And she said that the day she did my show, the day before, for her to swim, she has to take a bunch of people out, right? To spot her and a boat.
Yeah, she got a whole team.
Just for her to practice.
I'll tell you.
It's like a team thing. She saw a ray in the harbor. In the harbor.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago.
I saw I don't know if it's a stingray. I think it's a skate, which is really the same thing. But I've seen one. When I worked at Bethlehem Steel, I caught one.
I'm glad to hear that. That's good news.
But Katie will give you stories
Yeah.
about swimming with dolphins and things like that because
I'm telling you, standing in that ocean, Matt,
Yeah.
and everything's happening around you, and you're just like, and it was weird.
You
felt,
weren't afraid of the dolphins?
Not at all.
Okay.
I thought maybe I could get rammed by mistake, because
you might get sliced up a little bit, right? Like that would be like
that, and it would be my
You're
fault.
an old hockey fan, the Clint Malarchuk. You don't want to be doing that, dude, right? I mean,
but when
literally.
you're standing there and you realize the speed and power.
Yeah.
That's why I get
listen,
out.
man.
That's why I'm not going to sit
I
in
was
there.
down in the Caribbean for my wedding.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've always, my whole life, I'm like, I want to go scuba diving. I want to go snorkeling. I want to do all this stuff I'd never been.
Yeah.
And then I got out there with the snorkel.
It's intimidating.
And I'm looking down. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Right. And then you start to see the big fish,
the sharks,
and all the stuff down there. I'm like,
crazy.
I don't know if I want to be here in this world, man.
I went diving twice in my life on the Great Barrier Reef. That's the only
you went to the Great Barrier Reef?
When I was 29, 1998. I've been to Australia 3 times.
Wow.
I went, it was a bucket list thing it was the top of my bucket list when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
It
Dude, there's
involves
some
air
stuff
supply.
in that water too, man. There's some stuff in the Great Barrier Reef.
Oh, yeah.
I went out on the boat, did the training thing with a bunch of girls on this Kentucky trip that I was on for a month in Australia.
Yeah.
And they took you out to the reef. And the first day I went down, it was really magical. And I had to give it a day to let my ears clear, right?
Yeah.
So I went back when they would let me. The third day, I went back to clear my ears, and they gave me the tank and all that. And it was a little muddy the second time, so I didn't see as much. But I saw a shark. I saw a shark.
I saw,
You know what I mean? Like, and I guess when you're 29,
did it freak you out a little bit?
Hell yeah, it freaked me out.
Me too.
Sure. I mean, and I'm not a creature of the water in that. I mean, I go to Ocean City, get in the water, whatever.
Sure.
But like scuba diving, deep sea. I've only deep sea fished once in my life. I did it in Australia. I caught this giant fish. I've never done it since.
You didn't like it?
They've invited me out on those boats, the real boats.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any of those captains on for the Marlin Open?
Well, no.
How intense the Marlin is. Like
dude.
3 a.m, getting
A
up,
good friend of
seasick.
mine won
They
it.
go 100 miles out. Like, have they ever literally sat and told you it makes you not want to do it?
My friend has won the White Marlin Open twice. I think they're the only boat that ever won it.
But
twice.
did they ever say, Mick, do you want to come out?
No,
they're
I can't
really
afford it.
serious.
But I will tell you this: I have been deep sea fishing, and I'm going to tell you something. When you lose track of land, and then you go another hour, and you realize, "Fuck, I'm an hour further than when we lost track of land," and you realize you're in the middle of the ocean on a 35-foot boat alone.
Yeah, no thanks, man. I think I'd be seasick the whole time
But
too.
when you catch a sailfish, a marlin.
I caught a Spanish mackerel.
Oh, what a fish!
I caught this giant.
Oh, beautiful.
And they put the belt on me.
Yeah.
I was wearing my Van Halen shirt. I got the pictures, and I fought the thing for like the next day. I couldn't straighten my arm. My arm was like locked in from the belt. I've done it once in my life. I had success. And it's been 30 years. I've never done it again.
Yeah.
But it was awesome. It was amazing. But it's not something that I would want to do again.
Well, I'll tell you what. If there are any,
I don't really want to scuba dive again. You know what I mean? Like
I don't want to do it once. I did it, but I would only go down about 25 feet.
Yeah.
I'm not going down that.
Yeah, I'm
shit.
good actually.
Amelia, when we were down there, I think she got in a cage with the sharks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
I would do that. I would get the shark cage.
Nope.
That'd be
Nope.
fun.
Nope.
Well, here's one for your nightmares, Mick. There's the door plug incident from a flight here. There was a January 2024 mid-air blowout of a door on an Alaska Airlines flight, and the National Transportation Safety Board has concluded that there was multiple system failures were to blame. It was a Boeing 737 MAX 9 plane that had just taken off from Portland, Oregon, when a door plug tore away at 16,000 feet, leaving a gaping hole in the fuselage. Miraculously, all 177 people on board survived, though 8 suffered minor injuries. The NTSB report says that the accident was preventable and that both Boeing and the FAA share the blame. They found out that 4 bolts meant to secure the door plug were missing. And the report points to poor training, oversight, and documentation at Boeing. It says the FAA failed to catch repeated safety lapses. Does that make you want to fly a little more?
Are you a fearful flyer?
Yes.
Oh, I'm not at all.
Well, you've flown way more than I have. I know that. I'll tell you what freaks me out, and I don't really know how to explain it. It's not the fear of flying. It's not the fear of something going wrong with the plane.
You're claustrophobic. Is that what it is?
It's not even claustrophobia.
You can't get off. It's something you can't get out of?
No. It's that when I think about the fact that I'm, say, 40,000 feet in the air floating, and it's not natural for humans. We're not meant to do it. We've evolved to a point where we figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
But I think what happens is when I'm up there and I think about it, it's like my height. I have a terrible fear of heights.
I lived on the 23rd floor for 20 years,
Yeah.
and I'm afraid of heights in that way.
Did it help you living up there at all?
When I went in
You're
to
talking about
buy
when you
it,
were at Harvard
I
Court,
couldn't.
right?
It took me a couple weeks to get to the window.
Yeah, I can't
You know what I
imagine
mean?
living like that.
And when I go other places, anywhere, when we would go to a top of a building in New York or get a high hotel
Yeah.
room in Atlanta or whatever, I'm better with it having lived in it for 20 years. But my wife, we moved literally. Did you leave downtown because you don't like being downtown anymore? We left it. I didn't have a balcony, and my
Right.
wife wanted a balcony. I'm like, if we had a balcony, I would never be on it.
Right, you'd
Because
never
it
got
would
there.
scare
Yeah.
the hell out of me, right?
How
And
about that? How about that glass bridge at the
Don't even. You see, you
that thing
freak
in
out.
China?
no, the thing out in the
Same
Grand
thing.
Canyon.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I've done that at the top of the Palms with the
Oh,
glass
you're out of
thing
your fucking
in
mind.
Vegas. So I did a flight. This is a press junket thing, maybe 15 years ago. But my wife had cancer because she was blonde. It's probably 2011 or 12. You were on the air at 98, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And they wrote me a presser, and they're like, we're doing the Memphis Belle down at Martin Marietta.
Yeah.
You familiar with it? The little
course.
B-2 bomber,
Yeah.
right? And they said, you get to go on a ride with it. And I said, can I bring my wife? My wife's a thrill seeker.
Yeah.
My wife would do the Top Gun experience. I mean,
Uh-huh.
my wife would bungee jump. My wife drives a motorcycle. My wife is much more.
I could. Your wife is beautiful and awesome and amazing, and but I could never marry somebody like that. Like if that's what they wanted me to do with them, ain't gonna work.
Yeah, that's just not my thing.
So
you know?
she's cool with you not doing it if she wants to.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll do whatever. I mean,
Right.
but I don't want to do anything I don't want to do. I don't want her to do anything she don't want to do.
Good.
But
Okay, good.
we went to no. This isn't I don't know. There's no
All
peer,
right, we
there's
get
no
it.
peer pressure.
Right.
So we went down to the Martin Marietta in the airport in Essex, and my wife took the afternoon off to do this. And the it was a 20-minute ride. You know, literally went over top where we are. I saw
Yeah.
my house, East Point Mall, and this thing didn't have windows. It didn't have seats. It didn't have it didn't have much. It had like the straps, army straps in it or whatever, but everything in it was metal. There was nowhere hard. It was a 1940 bomber.
Yeah, it's
Right?
wild.
And we went up in the air for 20 minutes. Loud, violent, hot and cold, hot as hell.
Yeah.
And the wind blowing in
Yeah.
the windows. We only went up, I don't know, 5,000 feet, like
Yeah.
3,800
Yeah.
feet, whatever, high enough that I could point everything out
Yeah.
and spit down onto the back river. And from the minute the plane left the ground, and I've flown all over the world,
Yeah.
millions of miles, the minute it went up, I was like, this was a mistake, man. Like,
Yeah, so it was.
I didn't like any
Yeah.
part. And my wife's videoing me, and it wasn't like
Yeah.
I was going to throw up. I'm just sort of like, everything was moving and rocking. And at this point, the thing's like, and the guy's like, imagine they were bombing the Germans. They were bombing in one of these things. Imagine that. And I'm like, oh my God.
No.
That's funny,
I
man.
mean,
I
when you
was
talk
out- I was
about
out in
real
Vegas.
heroes, right?
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
think about that.
Yeah.
Great.
I was out in Vegas, and what do you call the thing where you hang and you
Hang
go
gliding?
Not hang gliding,
Zip
zip
line?
lining.
Yeah.
So I zip lined on
Ow.
Fremont Street. And that you're about, I don't know, 50 feet above the street.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Then, a friend of mine at the time said, let's go up to the top. I forget the two buildings. You can literally do this between two buildings.
Oh, fuck no.
I was up there and just, no fun at all, man. I was just white knuckling it the entire
that's
time
not
I was
fun
up
to
there.
me. I don't need that in my repertoire.
We were in
There's a
Sydney,
fine line
Australia.
For me,
My wife and I were there before she had cancer. She was kind of coming down, but she had a little less energy. And to your point, Mickey, can you and your wife?
Yeah.
My wife looked at the bridge.
Yeah.
Because you can climb the top of the bridge in Sydney. They strap you in and do all that stuff. And she wanted to do it because that's who she is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, and for a million reasons, no, for me.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah.
She didn't do it because she didn't it was hot and she didn't have the energy kind of to make it all the way through. But that's just a hard, any of those. My wife's a hiker in the wood. No, I just no.
I'm with her.
I don't like ticks. I don't want malaria. I don't like any of that.
That's like people that say, hey, we're going camping this weekend. Do you want to go? No.
My wife did 6 miles in the woods Saturday. I did 19.3 miles in Manhattan.
So where do you guys
So
bond?
I go to New York and I eat and I drink and I walk and I saw Glengarry Glen Ross and I eat pizza and that's where I get my.
What's the
That's
bonding
my
for
thing.
you and the wife then? If it's not that kind of stuff.
Oh my God, music, sports, the things.
You know what? Now that we're talking about your wife, Matt, I do have to share something. You drive me crazy. You know you do. I drive you crazy. But I want to share something about Nestor. A couple years ago, when his wife got cancer, I started paying attention to Nestor's social media. And I don't know if you remember this, but after a while, I wrote you something. And it was basically to the fact that I was so enamored by the love that you two have for each other. Reading what she went through, how supportive you were, how amazing her journey was. The guy in Germany who donated and saved her life and all that.
I talked to him yesterday.
Well, listen, I'm going to tell you something though, Nestor. You documenting that, and because you're a great writer, it was easy to read. But you and your wife have an absolutely, in my opinion, and I'm an outsider to it, one of the most beautiful relationships I've ever seen two people have. So I mean that, dude. You're so lucky for the relationship you have with your wife. I just want you to know, as a friend, I see it, I respect it, and I admire it. You have an unbelievable support for your wife, an undying commitment and loyalty for each other. People don't talk about these kind of things in public, and I respect you for it. And I see it, and I admire you for that.
Thank you, Mickey.
You're welcome. Next story, Matt.
Still wrong about
Yes,
politics.
sir. So we missed a story last week, man. There was a guy named Looney Tune who led cops on a high-speed chase, okay? So cops in Oregon have been searching for this 42-year-old guy. He led officers on a high-speed chase and then abandoned his SUV and fled on foot. And it made national headlines because his name is Looney Tune. His full legal name is apparently Looney John Franklin Tune. But they found him. So they finally nabbed this 42-year-old guy on Monday.
What a wascally wabbit, right?
Yeah. Mickey wants more people in this country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ending a 3-day manhunt that began a wild dawn traffic stop in Milwaukee. Officers had boxed in his SUV on Friday after sporting an outstanding felony warrant. But Tune hit the gas, blew past spike strips at about 80 miles per hour, and fired several shots at patrol cars. Nobody was hurt. He ditched the wrecked vehicle near a golf course and vanished into the dark, prompting a multi-agency search. Well, U.S. Marshals and local teams tracked him to an apartment complex and took him without a struggle. Tune now faces attempted murder, assault, and eluding charges in Clackamas County.
Well, listen. I mean, this dude is like a real live Smokey and the Bandit. You know what I mean? This is like
Portland, Oregon, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Is that true?
Yeah, it's a true story.
Wait,
that's a long way.
Yeah.
That's like half the country.
Yeah.
It's Smokey and the Bandit, dude. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, the guy's name's Looney Tune.
This a manhunt.
Yeah, this
a manhunt.
This here's a manhunt.
I'm gonna barbecue your ass.
Dude, one of my favorite lines in movie history. Jackie Gleason looks at his son and goes, "When I get home, I'm gonna punch your mama right in the mouth
For having you.
for having you.
This is Buford G. Justice. You know, my favorite line in the whole thing, and
Are you a Smokey and the Bandit nut like I am?
every word.
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
word.
Yeah.
You look a little tall though on the radio, Nick.
Matt, are you a Smokey?
I'm not really, no.
Oh,
This here's bootlegging.
we got any more, buddy?
That's it. That's
All
the
right,
facts
that's
of
the
that one.
facts, Matt. We're gonna run right into it. Our Matt's Music Minute, brought to us by Natalie Seafood. Have you been to Natalie's yet?
I saw you doing a show there last week.
Listen to me, you and her. I'll meet you there one night. You guys come up, we'll have dinner together. Nestor, it's
For
incredible.
being our guest, Nestor receives a free dinner with Natalie Seafood. And Falston, come on up.
Hey,
We'll
I
have
never got
delicious
a
evening.
fucking free gift for doing Nestor. I never got a free gift.
Bullshit, I gave you crab cakes.
Oh, you're right. I take that back. I take that back. I
Come
forgot.
on, man.
I forgot. You're right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take you up there, bro.
I've had oysters with Lou.
Yeah.
My
so,
dude Ryan works there. I mean, come on.
dude. Speaking of, I talked to you about Ryan after the show. Anyway, the coolest part is you got to go to this place, Natalie Seafood Kitchen, right in Falston. It is it's you got to
You're doing
go.
music now, right? You got bands.
7 nights a week, live
See, I
entertainment.
see it on my Facebook all the time. I haven't been yet. It's only been
Go.
open a month, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
literally, right?
We were there the soft opening night. We were there doing our podcast. It's just.
Do you want me to show
incredible.
my text to Lou trying to do the crab cake tour there? Or
No. That's all right.
Lou,
That's all right.
Lou.
Go ahead, buddy. Matt's Music Minute.
I thought this
All right,
was
we're there
comedy.
live
I'm not
on
allowed to be
Friday. We're
funny.
going to be hanging out, so come see us for the live broadcast starting at 5 o'clock on East time. Global Beatles Day today, so happy Global Beatles Day to you guys. It is a day honoring and celebrating the phenomenon and ideals of the Beatles, collectively and individually, for their gifts to the world, including their promotion of peace and love,
All
of
you
truth and
need
youth,
is love.
and of the expansion of human consciousness. The Beatles paved the way for global changes in personal expression, fashion, imagination, sex, and art. And they had as much, they say, or more impact on global society than anyone of their time.
Well, I will tell you that in honor of Global Beatles Day, I want to give a shout out to our friend Dennis Shockett, who, in my eyes, is I don't know a bigger Beatles fan. And in honor of Dennis, Matt and I both today wore the Atomic Light Orchestra shirts.
Twinsies.
Look, yeah, switch over. Look,
They didn't do this on purpose.
we
I was here.
didn't. We didn't. We
No.
both walked in today, looked at each other, and laughed.
Mick was like, I'll change, man. I was
I'll
like,
change.
don't. We'll,
Yeah, and he said, no, don't.
Yeah.
So in honor of National Beatles Day, global, national, whatever it is, for you, Dennis Shockett, we wore your ALO tribute.
Shout out
shirt.
Dennis
What's your
Shockett,
favorite
who
Beatles
also did our theme song, by the way, if you don't know.
Oh, Dennis
Yes.
did your
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
Got two of them now.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is season 2 you're on. by
What's
the
your favorite Beatles song?
way. If I got to pick one, Oh Darling.
I like Please Please Me.
Incredible.
You know, I'm more of a Revolver,
Yeah,
Rubber Soul
great.
guy. I'm an early guy.
I mean, mine's probably, it's probably like Eleanor Rigby or Yesterday, maybe.
Can you really go wrong?
Yeah.
If
No,
you
I
can
know.
name
I mean, there's a
fun
billion.
With you,
And then I go,
would you
like, there's
promise
too many
to
other
be
ones
true?
that, you're like, nah, that one would
It's-
be the best one.
Yeah.
Hey, Mahoney Brothers are playing
Where?
Heritage Fair. Heritage
This
Fair.
year?
Yeah.
We'll get them on.
Friday night, Mahoney Brothers playing.
Well, Saturday, speaking to Dennis Shockett, he's playing over at Jacksonville Fireworks.
Yes, with his Beatles tribute,
Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
He has a Beatles tribute.
Incredible. They don't do the costumes and stuff, but it's just the songs. And dude, it's amazing.
There's some word that the Mahoney Brothers are going to do a little Beach Boys thing to honor Dennis.
They do.
Brian
Have
Wilson
you ever
Jr.
seen them do their Jukebox Heroes?
No.
Have you ever had Jay Swanson on your
No,
show?
no.
You should have Jay. Anyway, they're one of the most talented bands I've ever seen. I mean, they're incredible. The Mahoney
We are
Brothers.
really blessed with great music here. I mean, great
Unbelievable.
Oh,
people.
no question.
Just great people, too.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yep.
yeah.
We were talking so many great rock documentaries right now. We were talking about the Zeppelin documentary that's out on Netflix right now.
Yep.
Earlier, there's a Billy Joel documentary coming up. Billy Joel fans can look forward to 2 nights with the Piano Man in July as HBO announces the premiere dates for its 2-part documentary. It's called Billy Joel and So It Goes. It was directed by Susan Lacey and Jessica Levine, and offers an in-depth look at the iconic musician's life and work, featuring exclusive interviews and never-before-seen performances. Part 1 of his 2-part documentary will debut on HBO and HBO Max on July 18th, with Part 2 following on July 25th.
Are you a Billy Joel fan?
I'm a huge Billy
Me
Joel
too.
fan.
Me
he's
too.
He's dealing with some health issues
I know,
right now.
man.
Of course,
I know.
had to cancel his tour.
Yeah,
but he says he's not done.
dude.
Which is
That
great.
guy did a vertical at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
How many weeks did he do it? Or years?
Oh my God! I mean, he has the record there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, he had a
Crazy.
residency there for I don't know how many years.
That's when I say vertical. That's what I mean.
I try to
residency.
get up once a year and see him.
Do you really?
I saw him a lot. At the
I know
Garden.
you have.
I
Yeah.
probably saw him a dozen times at the Garden.
Who's better in concert, him or Springsteen?
It depends what you want. I mean, the thing about Billy Joel is all the songs. The
Yeah.
thing about Bruce is Bruce has been writing music the last 30 years, and
Yeah.
Billy Joel hasn't.
Right.
So when you go to see Bruce, like a song like "A Land of Hope and Dreams," do you
Yeah.
know that song by
No.
Bruce Springsteen?
No.
It is an iconic Bruce Springsteen fan song, but it's
Yeah.
only 25 years old.
Not gonna lie to you.
You're not
I
a Bruce
haven't
guy.
heard a new Bruce song that I cared about since Born in the USA album.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
that you
Now, here's why. I love him. I think he's one of the greatest lyricists and greatest songwriters in American history. The reason I stopped listening was because it started to me, just from a fan's point of view, like he became what he used to sing about. And I never really felt, I love him. I can't talk badly about him.
You should read his book.
Maybe I should. Maybe that would help me. But you would rather see him or Billy Joel? You got one night, pick it.
It depends on the mood. At this point, because I've seen Bruce a lot more
Yeah.
than I've seen Billy Joel, and Billy Joel's ill, and I knew we're getting toward the end, but we're getting toward the end of everything.
Yeah.
I mean, we
loved growing up.
Yeah. Just this sucks. All of this sucks when these guys are dying, and with Billy Joel, I'm like, you think he's going to make it back? Is he
Yeah.
going to come back? Is he
Right.
going to play again? Is he going to be good enough? Bruce is playing right now.
Yeah.
Bruce is relevant. Bruce brings a kind of energy, but you have to be a Bruce fan because
Right.
he's doing obscure things. First time I took my wife to see Bruce was in Montreal 2003, and she didn't love it because she didn't know the music because
Right. Now she loves it.
he has a wide catalog of what he
Oh,
plays.
of course.
Billy Joel is, you're going to know 80% of the songs because there's just so many hits.
Yeah.
And even when Billy Joel mixes it up,
Yeah.
he's taking out Uptown Girl and putting in The Longest Time.
Right,
You know
yeah.
both.
Right,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
That's
he
how I
asks,
feel
do you
with
want to hear
Hall & Oates.
Vienna or do you want to hear?
For sure. Oh yeah,
You
absolutely.
like Hall & Oates?
Well, that's just sad that they hate each other.
I know, but were you a fan?
Love Hall &
Me too.
Oates.
I saw them in Ocean City, dude. What was that club?
Scandal.
No.
Scandals? Oh.
No. Was it Scandals? The rock club, right on the.
That was Rehak's place.
Yeah, Scandals.
Scandals.
I saw them there.
Wow.
And
What year was this?
How is that even possible?
93, 94,
No kidding.
92,
Wow.
somewhere
So this is
around
kind
there.
of
Times were
after
hard for
after
them,
their
huh?
peak, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually think it was a tour warm up.
Huh.
I think they were doing tour like bars to get the band
Wow.
acclimated.
That's cool.
They
man.
were fucking amazing.
I
They
bet.
were amazing.
Amazing.
You ever see his podcast?
Did you about Daryl's house?
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
watched 50 episodes.
right. Yeah, it's amazing.
Amazing.
Now, you know,
Yeah.
Dave, musician Dave, was his guitar tech, was Daryl Hall's guitar tech. You should have him on the show.
Who music?
I'll work that out.
Thank you, bro.
Meredith March's ex.
Yeah. Oh, Dave Dowling.
There you
Double
go.
D. Yeah.
Double D.
I got to get him on. You're right.
He was
Yeah.
a part of that act.
I
for
know
a
he
long
was.
time.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's a great guest, by the way.
Matt, if you need an executive producer,
Yes, you're hired. You're hired. If you want to do
We
it.
appreciate that.
I know how to
yeah.
get good guests.
Done.
Hey, we
You
were
don't. I'm here.
we were talking about Five Finger Death Punch earlier today, and we just had Chris
Mhm.
on the show, their bass player, not too long ago. You can go back and watch that episode. But,
I wasn't on that day.
Five Finger Death Punch was inspired by Taylor Swift in re-recording earlier music. So they have found themselves in a similar situation as Taylor Swift when she recently acquired her master recordings. The metal band is taking inspiration from the pop star by re-recording its earlier material. As Billboard reports, early on in their career, Five Finger Death Punch entered into a record deal with Prospect Park. The label's owner recently sold the band's masters without the band's knowledge, leading the band to start re-recording select songs from their catalog. Thus far, they have re-recorded versions of I Refuse, Jekyll and Hyde, their cover of Bad Company's Bad Company, and the songs are included on the upcoming compilation called 20 Years of Five Finger Death Punch, Best of Volume 1.
You know, I just wish this sounds horrible to say this. I just, after meeting that guy, I wish I was a fan.
Yeah.
You know
yeah,
what?
yeah.
I'm a fan of him, but I don't know the band.
Yeah, I mean, I know some of the songs.
I know
I
you
know
do.
a ton of them,
Yeah.
but they're massive now. I mean,
they're
they're
fucking
huge.
huge.
But
No
you know,
wonder I got bumped.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
tell
No
me,
offense. I didn't bump you for Loverboy. I
I mean, they're out on tour with Metallica.
I have immense respect for Mike Reno.
Yeah.
You know.
he knows a guy in Loverboy. That's why I love Nestor. You can't stump him.
What I'm wondering about the band contracts, are they going to start to put in the band contracts a little clause that says you're not able to re-record your material at some point? Is it going to get that evil in the industry?
Well, first of all, I think in 20 years there will be no labels. There won't be needs for it.
That's true.
Everything's going to be distributed yourself. Everything. All these businesses are going away. People don't even think about it. A record label is a worthless piece of shit.
Yeah, but you don't think
now.
there'll be record distributors?
Yeah, that's going to be a whole different business.
Yeah, right.
What's going
That's
to
what I'm
happen
saying.
what's going to happen is people are going to put their stuff up regionally. And the regional acts that sell, a couple of these companies around the country that are big are going to come in and they're going to go, all right, this guy's hot. Boom. They're going to expose you nationally. They're going to own none of your shit. None of it. It's same with this. What we're doing, I'm telling you, 5 to 10 years, we're going to get bought by a big company and they're going to do an internet, whatever they want to call what we're doing.
Well, see, there's companies right now buying up bands' catalogs.
Of course, because
for
it's
hundreds of
publishing.
millions of dollars. Right. Yeah. So,
I mean, publishing's always been where the money is.
sure.
So I'm pretty sure eventually what's going to happen is people are going to start to realize I don't have to sell anything. I just got to put it up. That we now have what you're watching us on right now, by the way, is a record label. It's a TV network. It's a radio network.
But without promotion, you just get lost in all the white noise.
That's
you
where
know?
that's where all the shady shit will come in. That's where guys will start
Yeah.
companies. We're going to help you grow your
There'll
local.
be a need for something like
Of course.
that. Yeah.
I just hope that if I'm alive, I'll shoot them down if these people try to hijack people's intellectual property.
Yeah.
AI, baby.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So Green Day over the weekend, frontman Billy Joe Armstrong stopped the band's set at Germany's Hurricane Festival on Sunday because a fan was shooting him in the face with a water gun. There's a video on TikTok that shows the 53-year-old turning the mic to the crowd, then pulling off his guitar, crouching at the stage edge, and yelling at the person before putting the guitar back on. You want to see some video of this?
Yeah. Does he yell at the guy on the mic?
You can kind of see.
So he's like,
Why
okay.
are you being addicted to Billy Joe Armstrong?
There's a guitar off over here.
Oh, he's chastising.
If you can see his lips, you know
Yeah,
what he's saying.
Yeah. I don't have any problem with that.
No, listen.
I don't have a problem with that. That guy was being a dick, and he told him to fuck off.
Yeah, when
You
you're
guys go to a
when-
lot of concerts.
Oh, of course. And when you're performing, man. Oh, what
Yeah.
do I do? I'll put this back in here. When you're performing, man, somebody's shooting you in the face
Yeah.
with a water gun. That's
I'm
not
throwing
part
my
of the deal,
fucking guitar at him.
right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't have any problem with Billy Joel on that one.
Yeah, no.
I have a problem that he did a green slushy with 7-Eleven. Wasn't that what it was? 7-Eleven,
And
right?
he's got Punk Bunny coffee now.
Yeah, Punk Bunny coffee.
You think
yeah.
you sold out?
Well, it's not very punk rock if you're being completely honest, right?
They just went the way of
you-
Kiss, who I adore and I
Yeah.
forgive them for because
You
it's
ca-
actually who they are.
personally, I don't have any problem with it at all.
No, I'm telling
but
you
if you're
right
trying
now,
to
I'll
maintain
whore
a
myself
punk
out.
rock image, it's not very punk rock.
Right. That's all.
Well, the
I know.
story here, disrespectful fans, right? Like you asked me about Billy Joel and Bruce Springsteen. There's nothing that pisses me off more, and my wife would verify this, than when I'm at a concert. I don't care if Billy Joel or Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen's singing "Drive All Night." You guys don't know that song. It's an obscure track. It's a lovely long ballad. It has a piano thing going
I'm already
on.
bored. Get on with the story about the song. I'm
Don't
bored with the song.
talk.
Yeah.
When you're in the $500 seats
Right.
because you don't know the song.
Right.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm with you, dude.
Just shut up.
I hate
Now, you can't even do that. You're going to squirt.
Yeah.
Just disrespectful fans being disrespectful of other people.
It's horrible. Yeah, I'm with you, dude. I think it's bullshit. Like, enjoy the show or don't go. Like, just don't be a dick.
Especially in the expensive seats because you can afford them and you don't even like Billy Joel.
Right. That's
you don't
the
even
shit.
like Bruce Springsteen. You
How,
know?
how about the guys that get into fist fights like right up in the front row?
Yeah.
You ever see like Dave Grohl will he'll stop the whole show
Yep.
and
But this guy
kick
here in
people out.
Germany fights to the front of the crowd that squirt the singer in the face. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you doing, man?
I forget the band, but it's a very famous story in the 80s. It's an English band, but they might have been the 90s. Anyway, they're big and they're on stage, and this guy's like throwing ice at the singer. So the singer sees him and he goes, and he's like, mate, I know we're all excited and things can get out of control. You throw one more piece of ice at me, I'm going to come down there personally and beat the shit out of you. And the security, I will beg them not to get involved. Guy throws a piece of ice. This motherfucker jumps in the crowd and beats the piss out of this dude.
Yeah.
He gets arrested. Like everything bad happens. And then when he went to court, literally the judge goes, did you throw a piece of ice at him? And he's like, yes. He goes, you deserved your ass whooping. Case dismissed.
Wow.
Swear to God.
Well,
dude,
you know what? I forget who
agreed.
the band was. I can't remember who the band was, but this guy's strategy was he was getting pelted with stuff at some festival. People were throwing shoes and mud and all kinds of crap. And then he said, all right, I'm going to walk to the front. He was on the microphone. Yeah. I'm going to walk to the front of the stage. Give me everything you got right now. Right. Just to get all the shoes
out of the way.
Everything up. And they pelted him with a billion different things. Yeah. And then they were done.
Yep.
It's like the Hershey Bears teddy bear game or something.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh. I know. I disrespectful fans. I can't deal with it.
No, it's
John Mellencamp played the Lyric about 3-4 years ago.
I wanted to go to that so bad.
He's coming to
the one about
Jiffy Lube soon. Yeah.
There's one a year ago that I went to. This was maybe 4 or 5 years ago. He played the Lyric. He stopped the song in the middle and just said, "Get the fuck out."
Yeah,
literally stopped
I've
the
seen
show
other
in the
artists
middle
do it. Yeah,
and just say, "You out now, gone."
Johnny Rotten did it at Hammerjacks. You know how they used to spit on the Sex Pistols?
Oh yeah,
so
gross.
He comes out the first song and I see guys spitting.
Nasty.
And he's like moving.
What do they call that? Globbing?
Yeah, globbing.
Oh.
And then after
I don't know this part of rock and roll. This is the first time I've ever heard of such a thing.
It's punk. It's the punk world.
The original
Globbing.
English punk thing. Globbing.
Yeah.
You'd spit at the band would spit back. It was this absent-minded, we don't give a fuck attitude like thing.
Nasty.
But at Hammerjacks, they're spitting. He finishes, and I saw him. He kind of backs towards the drum set. He finishes the song, and he comes right to the front of the stage. And he said, the next one of you dirty, filthy fuckers that spits at me will be thrown out, and your ass will be kicked thoroughly.
Yeah.
And about 2 songs later, and fucking Johnny points, and these 3 dudes come over, grab this guy right over the barrier, yanked him out, right out the back door. I didn't follow it, but I guarantee it wasn't nice. Yeah. And nobody spit the rest of the fucking night.
I bet, yeah.
Honestly, I think that's what would happen if I, went to a massage parlor and at the end, I said, I go up to Chinatown and get a massage, and the whole Justin Tucker thing's been such a story. I put this to you.
Yeah.
If I was in Chinatown last week and played that game, by the way, there's a sign on the wall that says no hanky panky.
Right.
Literally.
Yeah.
I would expect Professor Teru Tanaka to come out
right through the door
and just beat my ass until he didn't want to beat it anymore. I thought, don't you think that's what happens?
100%. And then when he's
and I
done
think if I'm throwing stuff at Johnny Rotten,
I'm getting my ass beat. I'm with you.
It's an invitation. I mean, whoever was doing that to Billy Joe, whatever happens to them, instant justice.
You might as well just say wear a shirt that says, I'm a dick, kick me out.
I got to get this list, man. There was a list that Def Leppard, I think it was, put out like 10 years ago or something. They got this list of all this weird stuff that people have thrown on the stage.
Yeah.
Just bizarre.
Oh.
One of them was like a live animal or something, but I gotta get this list.
Somebody threw a Shih Tzu. Whose Shih Tzu is this?
Please retrieve it.
Please. The English are so kind, even in the bad times. Would you please come up?
Come here, Fluffy.
Yeah. Go ahead, buddy. What else we got?
So Post Malone, I hate this to laugh at this story because I think the guy's a great guy, Post Malone, but he fell off the stage, but managed to save his drink. Post was performing in Phoenix. We got video of this too. He tried to cheers a fan, but he reached too far and fell off the stage. But he rolled out of it unscathed and somehow managed to save his drink too. So here's this is gonna hurt.
Oh, damn!
There's video of a different angle too. Here, check out this angle here. You can really see what he does. There he goes, taking the spill. But look, he gets right back up and recovers well. Recovers very well from this.
Hell yeah.
Goes around cheersing everybody.
What?
Springsteen fell last summer
I
on
remember
stage
that.
in Europe and laid there like he was dead for a minute, and then got up and get brushed off.
There was somebody was it Axel or somebody fell, and it was like
Dave Grohl fell and he was laying on the ground, and the paramedics came and they brought him the mic down. He was like, I think I broke my leg.
Yeah.
But
that's what it was.
He was totally punk rock.
Yeah.
Came back and finished the show after they kind of bandaged him up a little bit.
He fell, broke a guitar in half, everything.
Yeah. I mean, it's dangerous up there.
There have been a bunch of people who've fallen off the stage and hurt themselves, and that's got to be the worst, man. Performing on stage in front of a ton of people, it's bad enough hurting yourself when you're with a couple people, but doing it on stage and having to talk to your fans.
I fell on a table. Like I was on a stage, and the tables and chairs are all around the stage. It's comedy, so they're right there. And I turned and I was talking. I said something really funny.
I'll be the laugh.
No, dude, I fell right on this table. Right, drinks and shit went everywhere.
What do you mean, like belly flop, face first?
Well, it was like
how
on
was
my
it?
side. Like I'll show you. Like I was facing this way, and I didn't realize I was literally at the end of the stage.
Yeah.
So when I had set a line talking to this guy, and I turned to step, and there was no stage there.
Oh my God.
And I went off and just fell, boom, onto the table.
Oh, dude.
Everybody, chairs fly backwards, drinks go everywhere, and I'm like, oh, I didn't get hurt. But I'm standing there and I'm like, and I get up and I get back on stage. I grab the mic and I go, I forget. I don't know exactly what I said.
I meant to do that.
No, I think I said,
yeah, how do you recover from that?
Well, there was
man?
a really hot girl at the table. And I remember, I know what I said. I got up and I looked at her. And like everybody's like kind of like they're half laughing, half are you okay? And I go, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You guys witnessed it. I'm really falling for this girl, right? And that's how I played it off,
right?
And it was done and over, and they got drinks, or whatever. But it's embarrassing as shit. Dude.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't think I've ever, thankfully, knock on wood, ever had anything like that happen to me while I've been on stage. You, Nestor?
I haven't fallen off a stage.
Oh
yeah.
No, and
you ever left a mic hot and done something stupid?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I ran my own board.
I did.
Forever,
I ran the board at 98 Rock.
I mean, that was not a normal thing to run a board. I mean, when anybody come to my station, they were afraid of it, But no, I don't think so. I mean,
do you still have the radio station?
100%.
But what I mean is there's still a studio and an operating studio?
Absolutely. It is an aorta. I don't sit at that board.
Right.
I mean, I make what I make.
But you still have
it's
all
computer
that.
generated for the most part.
But you still have a place that has the board and everything?
Yeah, I have a tower. I have a license. I have all of that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to buy that from you, by the way. I got plans.
I met Dan Snyder one time at an owners meeting, and I got like the handshake from him, and he was such a dick.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, radio guy, I have 5 stations. You want one?"
Did he really?
That's the only thing he said to me.
He's a dick. I met him one time at the DC Improv, and I ripped his ass.
You got into him.
Smoked him. The crowd gave me a standing ovation.
What did he do?
He kind of just sat there.
Took it,
and then after the show, he comes back to the green room and knocked on the door, and the security guy opens the door and goes, Dan Snyder wants to talk to you. And I go, tell him to wait in the lobby. I'll be out in a minute. I sat for 25 minutes in the green room talking to my friends, and then when I went out, he was already gone. I never met him. True story.
Wow.
Ripped his ass.
Nice.
I told him point blank. I said, because he's not tall.
No, he's
right?
a small guy. Yeah.
I told him point blank I'm 20 feet from him. And I said, you know what? It's motherfuckers like you that give successful little people a bad reputation. I said, you know why everybody thinks they have a Napoleon complex?
Already.
If you're successful, because of dicks like you. You get a little money and you act like you're 6'5". I mean, I smoked this guy. And then one guy at his table said, and I go, hey, look, somebody just popped out of your ass to talk. Like everybody that came at me that night, it was like only 3 of them. I mean, it was like Eddie taking batting practice. Every swing, it was out of the park.
That's something like on a stage that like, has anybody ever approached you to do something, be beyond funny, confrontational, and a
Oh,
comedic
yeah. You
environment.
mean like, have I ever been
Well, I mean, because
asked?
people are drinking there, and it's like touching the girls. You know what I mean?
Well-
you can, and I was in your audience a lot. Like,
yeah.
I knew you. I
Right,
know where
yeah.
the line is. It's your show.
Yeah.
You'd always call me out when I was
Sure.
there and would say something, or I'd
Right.
try to say something funny
Yeah.
back or whatever. But like, it's not my fear of doing comedy, that somebody would do that. But I do think people really can.
Oh, there are guys that try to come at you. Like
Second show, late show.
Oh,
you've been through some stuff that I don't know that I would like that.
Matt, I don't know if I ever told you this. I did a show one time and a woman had a complete, Karen meltdown in the show.
About your
because your
What I was
material?
yeah.
Oh,
Here's what it was. I made a joke and it had something to do with cancer. I was not at all making fun of cancer.
yeah.
What had happened was like 4 years earlier, her daughter had died of cancer. So when I said what I said, she said, my fucking daughter died of cancer. And I went, wow, I'm so sorry. She goes, why did you say that? And I went,
it's a comedy show.
No, well, I go, what? I didn't make fun of cancer. I talked about something and it had the word cancer.
Right.
in
Like
it.
if there's a reference
It was
to
a
it in
reference
the joke. Yeah.
into the, and I tried to calm her down. She would not stop. So I said, lady, I've never done this before, but I think you're in crisis right now. I said, I think you're having a mental health issue. Will you please go outside for 5 minutes? And I promise you, calm down, come back in. This audience will not make fun of you. I will not address it. I want you to have a good time. She tells me to fuck off.
Wow.
I move on.
That was a good way to handle
She
it, though,
probably
man.
she had had a couple drinks. Oh, okay.
3 minutes
All right.
later, she starts again about another joke. So now,
Oh, now she's a total Karen.
well,
Yeah.
now as a professional,
She's part of the show.
I owe
Yeah.
the audience.
Oh,
at this
sure.
point.
yeah, she's
Yeah.
part of the show now.
I laid into this bitch. Oh my God.
Oh.
And by the end of it,
Yeah.
her friend stood up and said, she's wrong, but can you please stop?
She's had enough, Mick.
She's had enough.
She's had enough.
And I said, yes, will you please take her outside so she'll calm down?
yeah.
And they got up and they walk outside. 15 minutes later, I'm
Where's
on
the
stage.
security in this building, Mick?
None, by the way. Zero.
All right.
It was a female manager.
Oh, my God.
Female manager that was
Yeah.
in the back like, oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
So I see them walk back in. They sit down. And I see all the audience is like, and then they're all looking at me. And I go, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome one of my favorite people. Welcome back to the show. And it's funny. I was just talking about having kids. And I know she just said her daughter died.
Yeah.
I said, I was just talking about having kids. And I want you to know something. And I was very serious. I said, I'm very, very sorry that I triggered you. And that my comedy brought sadness to you. It was never my intention. And I'm sorry. And I hope you're okay. She stood up, walked right up. And as she's walking up, I'm thinking, this bitch pulls something. I'm punching her right in the face. Like, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah.
And she came up and she put her arms out and I hugged her.
Wow.
And I held her for about 10 seconds,
Yeah.
which, by the way, is really fucking long when you're standing on a stage.
Yeah.
I held her.
If I hugged you for 10 seconds, it'd be at least 30.
I would have an orgasm. So I literally felt her pat my back, which was like a signal to let her go.
Yeah.
So, and off the mic, I just looked at her in the face. I was like, are you okay? And she goes, I'm sorry. And I said, don't be, have fun. And then she went, sat down, finished my show. Afterwards, she came up to me. I asked her to show me a picture of her daughter. I asked about her daughter. She told me all about her daughter for about 20 minutes, and that was it. But I will tell you, as an entertainer, it's frightening because you realize you're the cop, you're the psychiatrist, you're the antagonist, you're everything.
Dude, you handled that really well.
I was going to say,
man.
if somebody brings a
Really well.
water gun, if I'm drunk at
Right,
Burke's with
right.
a water gun
and you shoot me,
and I'm shooting
there's
you,
no conversation.
I'm probably getting my ass
I'm
kicked.
coming off fucking
Not
stage.
just by you, but by
Right.
whoever. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I mean
I
about
might
an
actually-
etiquette thing. Just
Yeah.
be doing the right thing. It's not that hard to not be an asshole.
Well, I
course.
might actually,
It really isn't.
if I got shot with a water gun, I'd probably go, it's funny. Don't fucking do it again. If you do it again, I'm throwing you out.
You know,
Like,
the night I almost went to jail for killing the bird, the night at the Oriole game,
that's
I was
story.
coming to see you.
I know.
I was coming. We were all
Killing the
dressed
Oriole
up.
bird?
Oh, dude.
Dude, that the Orioles screwed me on a $30,000. They didn't pay the bill in
Okay.
2004. and they were in their 9th year of awfulness, and Angelos is doing. So I did this walkout thing after this incident. This incident happened before the walkout was 2 years later. But I sold like 900 tickets for them that night in the outfield, and the bird came with a super soaker to basically try to assault me in front of everyone, like literally. And the bird's holding the super soaker on me. And the coward under the suit, I know who the person is, but that person's never come forward.
Yeah.
So you talk about anonymity, like, but I know.
Wow. Yeah.
I looked at them and I literally, I'm with. It was the night before Preakness. Mick was playing the late show.
Yeah.
We were at the Oriole game. We lived out there. All of our friends were from out of town to go to Preakness, and we were like, we know the funniest. He's a little short, but the funniest guy we know. And we were literally coming to your thing, and we were all drenched.
Soaking wet,
our wives, girlfriends were just drenched head to toe. But when the bird held the thing out on me, I'm like, you're about to make the biggest fucking mistake of your fucking life. Yeah. Don't. There better be confetti in that, is what I said.
Yeah.
This better be the Harlem Globetrotters.
Right.
And he annihilated me and reloaded and shot me in the just blew me up in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Like all of my. I saw the bird's ass going up the stairs on the back. Like I came out and I was with a guy who was a lot bigger than me, one of my friends. He grabbed me, and it would have been like Hulk Hogan grabbing you side, like Barney Rubble.
Yeah.
He grabbed me literally and put me under his arm, locked. My arms were locked.
Yeah.
And he fucking carried me sideways through the warehouse door out the Camden Club to get me out of the building.
Yeah.
Because I was going to kill the bird.
Right.
I was literally going to, I was going to pull the head off of that guy and beat the shit out of the bird on the warehouse.
Listen, I don't condone violence.
This is after
but
they screwed me on $30,000.
There's something hysterical about a guy beating the crap out of a mascot, though, isn't there?
I swear to you, Nestor, if there was video of you beating the shit out of an Oriole bird because he got you with a water gun, you would be such a fucking legend. Like, I can't even explain it. And only dudes would think so. Yeah. Girls would be like, that's terrible. He beat up the mascot. Right. Guys would be like, that fucking mascot
deserved his ass kicking.
Got what he deserved. Oh my God, I love that. You told me that story once before years ago.
You're a part of it. Because I were like literally coming to your show. And when we got there that night, you saw me and I'm like, dude, you better be fucking funny tonight, dude.
In the lobby.
I need some comedy tonight.
He literally in the lobby. I used to like standing in the lobby before shows.
You always did. Your brother was always there too. Yeah.
I never hid from the audience. I'm not that guy. Like I stand at the bar when I'm performing. Like I don't give a shit. Yeah. Anyway, he walks in. I see him, and he's like, and he goes, I go, you okay, man? Dead. You don't probably remember this. He looks at me dead in the face, and he's got like this look, and he goes, almost fucking killed the Oriole bird. What? And then you told me
you thought you were going to invite me on stage to tell the story or something.
I tried to get him to do it. I was just the best. Oh my God, that was hilarious.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I owe my life to the guy that literally, he's 6'1" muscle guy. Just literally, you're not doing this. You're not. You just grabbed me, literally put me under his arm, like wrap my arms together, right, and just securityed me.
Yeah,
out.
I love it. I love it.
You know the guy that was inside the suit. You're saying, could you kick that guy's butt? You think it really?
I don't know that person. I just know that person's a coward.
Yeah, I got you.
20 years later,
fuck the bird.
Come see me, Bromley.
Yeah. Oh, got a name out of him.
No, it's just it was totally.
Have you seen him since?
No, I don't know the person.
Right.
I don't know the person.
Right. Gotcha.
But here's what I did get, and this is when I got sideways with Mike Flanagan. The next day, Mike Flanagan called me to try to
smooth it over.
Well, Mike Flanagan took me to dinner and swore to me I wouldn't be mistreated by the Angeloses. Right. Like we went to dinner at Michael's and Timonian, and he said things are going to be different. And I'm like, dude, the way I lit Flanagan up, it would be too blue to even work. I lit him up.
Right.
And a couple days later, I got certified mail at the radio station, and it was a letter. It was an Oriole letterhead. I'm not kidding you. And I gave this to somebody to keep it safe, and I think they burned it. I don't have the evidence of it. They wrote me a letter. It was for Lee. It was Angelos's people trying to make sure I didn't sue them. That's where their mind was working, right? If they just would have paid me the $30,000 that they actually earned, that would have been okay. But they sent me a letter, and I swear to God, this was not pre-contrived. We didn't mean to do this. We apologize. And it was signed the bird #1 with a cartoon and the bird #2. It was signed by the bird with a beak. It was signed like they would sign an autograph, like the Oriole bird would sign an autograph.
Holy fuck.
That's
such
how
a slap in the
fucked up
face.
the Orioles are.
That's a slap in the face.
And Flanagan called me for weeks to see if I got the letter because they thought that was a heartfelt apology.
Come on. Wow.
On
No,
my
I believe
friendship,
you.
I
That's just
love Mike. I
crazy.
love everything about Mike
That is
Flanagan.
just crazy.
But that's how effed up Flanagan's role was to call me and see, are we better? Did we fix things?
Yeah.
We sent you a letter, a certified
We
letter.
sent you an autograph by both cartoon players.
I swear to God, it was signed the Oriole Bird #1 and
That's
the Oriole Bird #2.
I'm
Not real
sorry.
names.
I know it hurts you, but I got to say something.
That's funny.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it is
dude.
funny.
It is kind
It's
of
ridiculous.
It's fucking legendary that the
Yeah.
Orioles did that. I'm sorry. And I know it hurts you, but the comic in me can't fucking not acknowledge.
It's hilarious.
Oh
isn't
my
it?
God. Oh my God.
Somebody out there's got an AI engine that's going to create a video of me beating up the bird.
If
Like
they
a
don't, I
video
will.
game.
Yeah. By the way, Matt, you realize something?
What's that?
7:10.
I got to go. I got to get
I
pizza
know.
for my wife.
We went long.
My wife's diabetic. She already
Wait,
took her shot.
we
We
had
gotta go.
we had the one guy in Baltimore that could talk more than me, and we went long. How'd that happen? Nestor, you're my favorite, dude. You know that.
I'm never getting invited back.
Are
Am
you
I not?
kidding me?
No.
You have an open invitation.
I'm going
Nestor.
to tell you something
Yeah.
else. Whether you like this or not, I'm saying it. We're going to figure out. We're going to work together.
In what way?
Trust me. I don't want to talk about it on the air, but I'm telling you.
Oh, you'll save money. Knock on wood. If you do what a good would. You got to get sponsors, bro. You know?
We're going to talk. Anyway, we got anything else, Matt?
That is Matt's Music Minute, my friend.
All right. Today we spent 2 hours and 10 minutes with an exhausting conversation. I loved every fucking.
No, you didn't.
The only thing I don't like is the politics, and I'll tell you why. Matt and I made a decision on this show. I wanted to do it. Did I not? You want to talk?
You bug me about it constantly.
So,
I don't have any rules on my show.
right. No, it's not a rule. And here's why I do it. It's a comedy show, right? And I agree with Matt. And I don't agree with people usually about anything. Right now, this country is so fucking divided. And both sides are fucking idiots. You and the other ones are fucking idiots, if you want the truth. You're both right and you're both wrong. And I can't deal with it anymore. What I mean, Nestor.
Well, look, this is really what it is, though. It's that people can get that every which way, everywhere right now. We want to be the break from that.
All right, so
my
here's what
reasoning.
I'll do. If I ever come back here,
And you will.
if I'm ever
And
invited,
I'm not scolding you.
here's what
by
I
the
want
way.
to do. Here's
I'm
what
not
I wanna do.
either.
Next time I come back, we're not going to talk about anything with me or career, any of that. I'm going to bring back my comedy notes that I've been writing for years.
Deal.
Mickey has been trying to turn me into, and we went through what's really like, I don't want to be on a stage with a bunch of drunk assholes looking to punch me because they don't like whatever comedy
Dude.
in the framework of
I'm telling you
if
now.
I ever do comedy, it's going to be called Everyone Hates Nestor. Like, that's what it's going to be called. It won't be hard to find those people.
I'm going to
especially
tell you the
in a
way
side
why I
town.
really
It'll be
want
like
to
the
do it.
Blues Brothers, man. You will put up a thing so beer cans can't hit
Nestor, I'm going to tell you something. For everybody that you think hates you, there's tons that love you. What I'm telling, excuse me.
I
what
need to be funny enough for them to spend $20 to see me do jokes.
Here's what
I
you
need your help with that.
Here's what you need first, and I know you're petrified of it. You need to be roasted.
Oh, fuck you.
See?
I ain't doing that.
Why?
Just because I'm not.
Are you that thin-skinned?
I'm not that thin-skinned. It's just not what I want to do.
Why? It makes you endearing. Do you
I
understand
get
that?
roasted dude, look at my social media today, dude. Yeah, I get roasted. I
But do
for
you,
the same reason you don't want to do politics, I don't want to do anything abusive.
all right, fair enough.
So that's how I feel. I feel like there's plenty of abuse.
How about if we do a?
We just saw Billy Joe Armstrong
How
got
about
abused on a
this?
stage.
How about this idea? We roast you politically.
That happens every day on the internet too. So
You know I love you.
I want to
dude.
leave you with this story because it does, like, if I ever get invited back, I
You
really
are invited
I
back.
went
Stop.
through reams of comedy today. Like,
Right.
I'm a writer. you
Yeah,
know? And
sure.
when I see funny things, I take the phone and I write it, email it to myself and later and say,
Sure.
this could be part of a bit. Other than you, and I mean this from my heart.
Yeah.
I mean, we're real friends in
Sure.
real life. You are the one person that you give me confidence that I'm funny.
I know you're funny.
You think I'm really fucking funny.
Because
like,
you don't
He really thinks I'm funny in a way that nobody else has ever. Like, I do radio for 35 years. I'm funny in whatever funny way or whatever. But doing what you do is an art form, and I have incredible respect for it, and I like comedians. And I came to your show 100 times, Mickey.
I love you.
I'm a huge fan of yours,
know that.
right? I mean, every Friday and Saturday night, we made time to come.
You did?
I've seen you over at the Top Hat.
I'll bet you've seen me 50 times. Easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy
Yeah.
in my marriage 50 times. And I haven't seen you much recently because you're not out like the way you were.
Yeah.
I had Louis Anderson on my show in Minnesota at the Super Bowl. It's his hometown. We're in the Mall of America, and he came by. I don't know him at all, and you can go watch the piece. It's up on YouTube. And he sat down, and I said to him, my friend Mickey Kachette, I just said, thinks I could do comedy. He's like, you could do comedy if you want to.
You definitely could.
You definitely could do it.
Yeah.
Well, he gave me, and you can see it on video. He gave me all this comedy. He spoke to me sweetly, and he said, when we ended, he's like, I'll give you my email. Send me your jokes, and we'll get together and we'll work on them, and we'll get you. I'll help you. I'll help you. Is what he said to me. It's fucking Louis Anderson, right?
It's amazing.
So I leave him.
Nice.
I
It's
leave
really
him.
nice.
This is in 17. It's when the Eagles won a Super Bowl. So January 17, February 17. Year and a half later, you're a hockey guy, Mick.
Yeah, I'm not.
The Caps were in the Stanley Cup Finals.
I
in
love
Vegas.
hockey, but I know nothing about it.
Caps are in Stanley Cup in Vegas. My wife went to Game 5. She was there the night we hoisted the cup and did all that. She is sick as a dog. The rest of it. She got better, and she went with me. We took the late night flight between Game 4 and 5. You have the off day. We flew out to Vegas that night. We landed at the Vegas airport late, 11 o'clock at night in Vegas. Nobody there. Get off the plane. We're walking through the Vegas airport.
Yeah.
You know how they have the big holding tank with all the
course.
televisions
Yeah.
and all that. Before we get there, we're in that area leading to it. And I look over, and there's Louis Anderson pulling a stroller through the air. And he was at the,
Snacks in it?
I don't know. Heavy.
So what?
Did he have snacks in it?
He was heavy and broken down and he was all alone, carrying his own stuff as a comedian,
Yep.
Later in his life, he had health challenges that I think everybody knew about, right? And I looked, it was as three people as the three of us, and there was nobody around.
Right.
Just me and my wife and him. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and he said, "You never sent me any jokes." I didn't say I'm Nestor. I didn't. He looked at me and he said, "You never sent me any of your jokes."
Why didn't you send me any of your jokes?
Literally. That's exactly what he did.
Of course, right.
And we walked together down. I never saw him again. Yeah. And I want to get on stage for him.
I love that story. And
it's true.
I love it. And Louis Anderson.
And you're the only one I trust. You're the only one I
that.
would even think of bringing, try to help me make this funny I can do 5 minutes for you one night for charity or do something like that.
I think you just committed, man.
I'm in.
But I gotta bring 10 good bits.
All right, here we go. Give me the book, Matt. Give me the date
I gotta
book.
bring 10 good bits.
I'm putting you on the spot, and I'm holding you to
Let's
your
do it in
bullshit.
August. I need a little time. I'm working on a bunch of stuff. All right, and I gotta go get pizza from my wife.
I know. Listen.
Hold on.
This show is called The Right Name.
I'm texting
Mickey
my wife.
Talks.
This fucking troll
Except for today.
is making me late.
This fucking troll. Here, Matt. Pick your date in August you want to do. You want to come out to a live broadcast?
No.
You don't.
I want to sit in here.
Okay.
And I want it to be hotter than it is now. I work better when it's 120.
Well, don't worry. At the rate this air conditioning's going, it will be.
You got a thermometer in here?
Yeah.
No, we don't.
It's got to be 92 in here.
92 right now.
I wore long johns. All right, what day are we doing? Let's go. August what? Tell me.
Matt's got the book. He's going to
What day of the week you want me?
You pick it, man.
You pick it, brother.
What do you need? Tell us. Wide open in August right now.
I'm going to do, let's have Wednesday, August the 6th.
All
Let's
right.
do that.
Oh, that's no good for me. No, I'm kidding. Wednesday, August 6th.
Actually, it is. We're on vacation that week.
That's the week we're on vacation. Sorry.
We're on vacation the 1st through the 6th. So any other date?
July 30. No, I can't do that. I'm lying to you. I'm making that up. That's bad.
All right. Well, while you're picking a fucking date on the air.
I'm trying, man.
I know.
On the air.
I want to tell everybody something. I'm going to be hosting the Rocking the Harbor this weekend, both nights, Friday and Saturday. Amazing event that Dave Landsman, Jimmy Jernigan, a bunch of great people do.
My wife's roasting him. If you had a call and my wife would have your ass right now. Where's my fucking pizza, Mickey?
She just said, let me tell you what she just wrote. He said, hey, running late, he's keeping me forever on the show. She wrote back, I got to eat. Tell that fucking garden gnome to shut up.
Maybe she should do the comedy spot, man.
Maybe we give it all to her, brother.
Yeah, it's too hot in here for her. She's postmenopausal. She wouldn't like this at all.
Nestor, listen. Dude, listen to me, bro. I mean this. I fucking love you. I think you're incredible. You're one of my favorite media people. Always have been. We have
my titties are sweating.
We have a ton in
It's
common.
hot. Look at
I
that.
think the
Isn't it?
world of you.
Woo.
We're gonna do more shit together.
Oh,
That's
no,
all
we're
I'm
not.
saying.
I'm never gonna work with you.
Matt, youtube.com/ at Mickey
At
Talks
Mickey Talks
Pod.
Pod, yeah.
Rumble, Mickey Talks.
We
Everywhere.
love you, Nestor. Thanks for doing the show, brother.
You're the best, dude. I'm serious. For real. Anything you want to say here at the end?
I love you, Mickey.
I love you, Nestor. And Matt, let me tell you something. You see this guy next to us, right?
Yeah.
We better get a chicken deal out of this. That's all I know.
I'm telling you right now.
For real. We already gave him
We're gonna
half an hour's worth of advertising today.
Here's what I promise you will happen. We are going to make a stink so that Royal Farms advertises on both of these shows. I commit to it. I will not let
Will you do the skit with me? Will you
I'm
do
not
the
doing that dumbass
Why?
skit.
That's a
I'm going to
great
write
idea.
a funny one. I'm going to write a funnier one. We're not dressing up in chicken soup.
No, we have to.
No,
That's part
better.
of the shtick.
We're going to a massage parlor with Royal Farms
We're
chicken.
never getting Royal Farms money that way. See, this is where I can't work with you. I can't work with you. Emily McMenamin will not buy that.
Is that who it is? Is that who I need to talk to?
Yeah.
Emily McMenamin? Am I saying
She's
that
the
name right?
marketing woman, yeah.
All right. If I could just have a moment.
If your audience, I
I'm
want you to
getting
get the
this
money.
chicken
I don't
deal.
even want the money. I want you
Shut
to
up.
have it.
Listen. Emily McManaman. Am I being right here?
Yeah.
Okay. Emily McManaman, I hereby would like to present to you an offer.
Tell her about my 10 listeners.
If you shut the fuck up,
All right.
I'm going to get us a deal.
Yeah.
I got to start over now. Emily McManaman.
Mhm.
You won't? Can you stop talking?
Ellie McManaman.
Mute my
Listen, here we go. Royal Farms, Nestor Aparicio, one of the greatest Baltimore media icons in the market. You should be advertising on his show. And if you don't, I have a show too you can advertise on. Please give me a call. No, I'm kidding. Dude,
He's
listen,
funny. I'm not.
we're going to do this. We're going to do it. We're going to do it together, by the way. You don't know what I'm talking about right now, but it's going to happen. So you remember this day is all I'm telling you. Remember it.
If Royal Farms doesn't want us, I'll take us in.
Let me tell you something. Well, I can't do this. We can't talk about both of them at the same time. That's bad business.
What about
right?
highs? We need a sponsor for this show.
I have.
We need more.
I got more.
We
coming.
need more.
I'm with you,
All
Nestor.
right, that's what I want. I want you to have. I want you. It's so important for people like you to keep this platform.
Well,
It is.
Nestor, here's what I've learned over all the years: that if you can't get them honestly, you just beg. So
That's what the rubber chicken suit was about.
Nah, we got to come up with something better. I'm telling, and I'm kidding about the massage parlor, but we're gonna do it. You in, Matt?
Of course I'm in.
All right.
Yeah.
Dude, you think I'm kidding? I'm promising my audience by January. It's going to take a while. They're not going to commit right away. By January, we'll both have Royal Farms as sponsors. We'll make a wager. $1.
All right.
All right.
I love you, mate.
All right. Saul
Hey,
here first.
And that counts as a fucking handshake, even though you only have 4.5 fingers. I'm just telling you right now. Don't even
Good thing the Jackson 5 didn't show up today, or 5 for fighting.
God,
Fifth
I love
Dimension.
You. I love. All right, Matt, get us the fuck off the air. I love it.
Are we done? We done.
Are you?
I think we're done.
I think we're done.
I need a cheesesteak.
All right, where are you going from here?
Pizza John's. You want
Could
to
you
go?
just sit until the fucking show ends? Jesus Christ, have some fucking manners.
He's a radio guy, man. He's not used to the camera.
You're on TV right now. You're on Super TV or whatever it's called.
I have guests all the time who sitting there just like throw the pots down, just walk off.
I didn't do that to you. I sat there the whole show, even when you weren't talking to me.
I'm from this neighborhood. I know how to say goodbye properly on the phone. Thank you.
Right.
All of that.
Well,
Thank you for having me.
It's
It was an
our
honor.
pleasure. And you're back in August. Is that what we said?
My boobs are
Did
sweating.
we pick the date?
No, we're going to pick it off the air, though.
Yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
it.
It's my 27th anniversary in August, so I'm doing a cool thing. So
And
I want
you're-
to be a part of it.
And you're coming back with comedy.
That will not be funny.
I'll make it funny.
All right.
We
Involves
good?
hemorrhoids. It'll be good.
I love Nestor. I love all of you. And see you guys tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow on the show.
Oh, of course. Right.
Go ahead. You're better.
Former mayor.
Stephanie Rawlings Blake.
Okay.
How's that?
Baltimore versus y'all horse.
See you guys tomorrow.